Hey, Max, what's up? Hey, you have been pretty busy. I can see it. You're all raggedy now, like extra raggedy. Usually you're very raggedy, but now you're extra raggedy. Your hair's all unkempt. Your beard's all unkempt. You know, it's been a busy couple of weeks for you at school, hasn't it?
It has. And then this week it's slightly bit easier. Now I'm a bit sick.
You look sick.
So,
but you know what?
yeah.
We have a podcast to do, and being sick and being busy goes on the back burner now because we got to talk about RC, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. So you know what? I'm just going to drop that intro.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Oh, yes, indeed. Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 156 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, a.k.a. Lefty the Great. And you know who that is over there, the unkempt one, the arrogant one, Max Mort. Max, what's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. It's been a while since I've been on a podcast. It must be since AMS.
Yeah, that was the last time.
Right?
It's been about 2 weeks since you've been on the podcast. So, yeah, I think that gave people enough time to stop being pissed off at you and, back to arrogant one as well. But thank you for coming on. I know you're super busy. JQ's super busy. So we're kind of behind on a lot of things this week. So anyway, we'll talk about that. But before I go on any further, I have to say my thank yous. And I got to say shout out and say thank you. We're coming up to the end of the year. I think we got about 2 more shows. And then that's it for the year, unless something big happens in between that time. So with that said, I want to shout out and say thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world for the continued support, for everything that you guys do. We can't do it without you guys. Thank you for all the love. Keep sharing, keep downloading, leaving reviews, hitting that sub button on YouTube and all that type of stuff. It really helps us out. We got something planned for you guys in 2 weeks, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Shout out to all the patrons of the podcast. We can't do it without you guys. Thank you for all the love. We have a separate thing for you as well in 2 weeks' time. So if you're a patron of the podcast, you get double the fun. Also, I just got to say thank you to like everybody that's just been giving the podcast some love, who's been reading our blogs, following us on Facebook, sending us questions, all that type of stuff. Honestly, it's been an awesome 3 years, an awesome 156 plus episodes, really. Thank you to everybody that does that. So, if you wish to be a patron as well, the link for that is in the written description of this podcast. Also, we have some very good sponsors, and the great thing about it is a good bunch of them are staying on next year. And if you're a company and you think this is a great platform for your advertising, hit us up. We only have a few spots left for 2022, so, they're going pretty fast. But I would like to say thank you to Mayako. People got their cars. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. TNR Fuels, Hitec RCD, Beach RC, Tekno RC, Lugz Racing Tires, JQ Scale Motorsports, Invisible Speed, Sun City RC Raceway. This is probably like one of the last times we're going to say that because, unfortunately, Sun City RC Raceway is closing down. The Showers families are getting out of RC. Unfortunate. So, but thank you for their support. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Donathan RC Leads, Racecraft USA, House of RC, RCGP, and of course, we have JTP RC on as well because Tebow is going to be coming on once a month to do some pods with us. And I want to shout out to my good buddy RC Kevin, who did a great vlog the other day, and also for helping me out as well. And Tony Newland of Clinic RC for helping us out on the 10 scale Florida Carpet Championships that we did last week. I enjoyed that. I think that might be our 10 scale guys there. We might mix and add some people there, but I appreciate their help. So, yeah, thank you, everybody. And now it's the season to give. So we're going to be giving her very shortly because we are having our big Christmas show on the 17th of December. It is a Friday. And I have to say that all these sponsors have chipped in and gave us something to give away to you guys. I don't know how we're going to do that, though. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to do it. I did a quiz last year, and unfortunately, nobody got any of the answers right. So I had to still give it away to people for not even getting it right. So I don't know if we're going to do spin the wheel or we're going to do quiz. I think we're going to do for like during the live, we'll do questions. And I don't think we're going to have a call in. We'll just have questions. We'll do YouTube questions, Facebook questions, and then whoever can get that first, we'll do that. But we have some cool giveaways. We got some fuel. We got some gift cards. We got some tires. We might have an invisible speed or 2 courses to give away. So one of them will go to the patrons, I think, if we get 2. Papa Willie's is sending us some Traction Tonic. I'm going to talk to Donathan RC. Racecraft sending us out something. RCGP says he's going to sponsor something, but he won't tell me. So it's good stuff. And D4 is being worked on. So, yeah, good stuff. Mark that on your calendars. We don't have a date. It will probably be maybe around this time, I think. This time, like this is live. It will be around 3-4 Eastern time, my time, I think. So stay tuned to that. Lots of giveaways, and we're going to have fun on that Christmas show. Also, guys, Beach RC is having their 12 days of Christmas coming up. Check them out. It starts, when this podcast comes out, it starts on Friday. 12 days of great savings, so check them out. Max, we have quite a bit to talk about, but what have you been up to? Because you've been pretty busy in school.
I've been counting forces and shit. Very sort of just mathematics and physics mostly.
Are you good at math and physics though?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I am. But I mean, it's not that hard, but there's just a lot to do and a lot of new stuff. So yeah, it takes a bit of time.
And you're busy, and and also like with our Discord, we've been kind of quiet lately because I've been kind of in chill mode. I'm kind of winding on, man. It's like end of the year. I'm ready for a break. Took Thanksgiving off. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody too. We haven't spoke to anybody since then. And but the Discord doesn't need us. Everybody can chat. So remember, also join our Discord, everybody. We're at 264 members. We'd like to get that up to 300 by the end of the year. And keep that great. And people just talk like it's there for everybody to chat. But we need to instigate the chatting again. So school's got you busy. I've been busy too. I've been up every morning. I've been on the invisible speed stuff. So Joseph's had like Robert Battier.
You school as well.
Yeah. So he's had Robert Battier on. Yeah, Robert Battier and David Ronnefalk on last week. Yeah, Kyle McBride on this week. And then today, this morning, dude, he ran into, like, Joseph was in super science mode explaining drive. Oh, it was good, man. I have to say, man. If you want to get something for somebody for Christmas, like, get this invisible speed course, because the detail and the amount of knowledge that you can get from this is awesome. Like, yes, you probably missed the run through with the live superstars, but I think Joseph's going to incorporate that again sometime in the future and do that all over again in this next year. But it's really good, and he's been super busy. That's why we ain't been able to get him on her, because I think he's doing like 2 lives today, and then he's doing just busy. And of course, the Mayako is shipped, and everybody's getting theirs, and they're excited. And then Joseph is actually doing a live build last night, so I was watching that, and it's just honestly really cool. Like, you know what I mean? And man, Discord's awesome. That's all I gotta say. And our Discord's gonna be just as awesome, I think. So yeah, man, check it out. Invisible Seat's good, man, and it has payment plans. Everybody, you can get it. I think it's like $11 a month or something like that. It works out to be. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Max. I don't really have much else to say besides that. How about you?
Nothing much really. Life goes on.
Nothing.
There's a lot of freaking snow here, though.
Is it?
That has happened.
Well, it is Finland.
Since AMS. When we recorded for AMS, it was like no snow. Let's say +5 to +10.
Right.
Now it's like -5 to -10, and there's like Well, not a foot of snow, but half feet of snow. So.
Did you see that it snowed during a race in England this weekend?
Yeah, I saw the video.
That was really crazy. Cool. No snow here. 84 degrees, high temperatures, low temperatures, maybe low 70s at night. We do have a little bit of rain. This is the perfect weather here in the DR. All the snowbirds are here. Europeans are on here. Yeah. It's that time of the year in the DR. It's tourist time, so it's pretty ramped up here, and the weather's just so great, like so great, so awesome. Yeah, I love it. I live where people vacation, so what can I say? You know, I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. All right, Max, I think we should just go into some RC news. What about you? I think we should just get right into this. And today's RC news is
a lot of stuff to go through.
We do have quite a bit of stuff to go back through. Yeah. So this week's RC news is brought to you by Hitec RC. They are a leader in RC systems, delivering the highest performance and reliability, supported by dedicated customer service personnel. The HSB 9381TH servos have efficient brushless motors, titanium gears, low consumption, constant output, and a metal case. They also regenerate power back into your battery. The RDX2 Pro charger, which I have, can charge two battery packs at a time. It says they can charge 2 4-cell battery packs in just 45 minutes, provide power for your engine heating and tire warming needs, as well as a USB for your phone charging needs. And it has a Bluetooth dongle and an app that you can use to control the charger on your phone. Trust in Hitec, your server and charger headquarters. Hitec's doing some big things next year, which I'm excited about. They're getting back into racing, like full time. And it's some positive things coming out, and I am happy to be a part of that, hopefully, going into 2022, because they're sticking around with the podcast, and that's great. So visit hitecrcd.com, where to buy for your nearest retailer. All right, Max, let's get into this real quick. So first news, the long-awaited Tekno Truggy is shipping. I think people have been waiting for that for some time, the new Tekno Truggy, which is supposed to be really good. So I think people
Is it the one they released at like SIC or something?
Yes, but now they finally have it where people can buy it. So people have been waiting all this year. They have it, and people are going to be getting it here for Christmas, it looks like. So that's really good as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Mayako prototype is getting into hands. I know everybody's asking for pictures, but there won't be any pictures until the official release of it. I was looking at it. All I have to say is I'm just looking at the front end, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's sexy. That's the best thing I can say. Like it's sexy, and it's so much stuff you can do. Like, wow, like me, like it's so many different options that you can change. Like it's it's really good. Like, and little small things that are innovative. So I'm not going to spill the beans. I'll have my car hopefully next week. It's at my freight forwarders. Hopefully it isn't lost. And everybody's excited. Like in the Discord, you see everybody like showing off, getting their boxes. Like people have waited for a long time for this. And it's pretty cool to see the people that have waited a long time and have been waiting for this for a while. And now like everybody's getting their stuff. Except my boy Salty. My boy Salty Joe is not very happy because FedEx has lost his packages. So I've been trying to calm him down because he's been like waiting the longest. So he's a little bit pissed off. But don't worry, Salty Joe, you will get your cars. Don't worry. So that's great. Colin Herzig is now the Reg USA team manager, which is a good move because I like Colin. He's good. He seems to do good in these positions. I believe he was like a Reds team manager before, wasn't he? Or some sort.
I don't really know. I was like, when I saw the announcement, I was like, I think he's ran Reds for quite a while. Mm-hmm. So he used to hang out with Cody King. Mm-hmm. And I remember at some point King ran Reds.
He did.
And he was a team manager for, I think, Kyosho at the time or something. So
Herzig has done some team managing roles.
I think he has been involved, but to me it seemed like a weird thing because I always felt that he was a guy who is more local to California rather than just traveling around like a team manager normally does.
Well, I think with social media now, you don't really have to travel. You can still do a lot of stuff. I mean, so I talked to him yesterday. I was like, dude, so this means you're like back into, because he stopped racing for a little while to focus on full-time job. Because he works in the aeronautical industry. You know what I mean?
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
So he has a really cool job. And so I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, man, I'm back. And I like Colin. Like, he's good, he's personable, and he's fun to be around. And it's
Yeah,
good to
he's
see
a
him
cool
back
dude.
into RC. So congratulations to
Yeah,
him.
and to Reds as well. I think this is most likely a good move because Reds is American distribution slash American management has been quite poor in the past.
Yeah,
I'd have to say.
I think Kenny Johnson retired from it because he's just he's going through his health issues. So I want him to get better. And he was
And before him, even it was like Alex Pilson who kind of did it. Then he stopped. Then there was a few distributors who had it. I can't remember who was the very first one before Alex Pilson, but there's a lot of stuff at Reds went wrong through the years. So I hope they now have it all sorted out.
Well,
they now have a pretty good team in America with Cole, and
they have a big presence in America. It's a lot bigger from when JQ and we guys are running Reds. You know what I mean? And
yeah, but I mean, you remember when me and JQ were running Reds? Red was the biggest brand at the Euros. The most people ran Reds. So Reds has been like, it never had that sort of brand image of being the number one brand or anything kind of like OS has always had. But Reds, it was huge at the time when we were running Reds, and it was a big brand. And even in America, it had some credibility. I mean, Mayfield ran it. Some other guys ran it, but then
I think after Mayfield did that at the Worlds, that hurt it really bad in America. And then I'll be honest,
America for sure. But they had a sort of a dip before they released their own engine, because it used to be sort of Pico manufactured it and they just kind of tuned it and like manufactured it as a Reds. But nowadays they do it like from the ground up, I believe. So it's pretty much their own engine completely. So they've changed sort of their whole business in that sense. And the engine is completely new since that time. And I think they sort of have been climbing back up because they're really high up in Europe, and then it took a huge hit during those years where Boots wasn't doing that well when he sort of moved from Kyosho to S-Works, and also all the Mayfield stuff really hurt Reds, I believe. So yeah, since then it's sort of been iffy, but I think they're climbing back up.
I see people that swore on they'll never run a Reds running Reds now. So it's definitely growing in America, and that's good. And I think with Colin on board, it's going to grow even more. So congratulations. I mean, we do need some more engine manufacturers out there that aren't OS. You know what I mean?
I wish there were more, because Performa makes engines, but I don't think anyone runs them apart from HBT drivers. Pico makes engines just for the sake of making them. Reds has been a big manufacturer, but they don't have that credibility that OS has. So right now, like Novorossi is completely gone. So right now it's pretty much like Reds versus OS.
Well, there will be some Novorossi engines though.
I hope Novorossi would come back, because even though their engines were really awful always,
I love my Novorossi engines, dude. I love them. My P5, my BT4
they were good
were great.
Like, okay, I'll tell you a story of one Finnish national season where there were three guys who ran in the team who the distributor, their team, the distributor of their team distributed Novorossi. So these guys were pretty fast. They're running Mugens, and they were pretty fast. A lot of times they were like, all three were in the top 5 in the main. Then every single main for that one season at 21 minutes, and the funny thing was they had one mechanic was one guy's dad who was really old and he couldn't really run. And then 2 of the guys were most of the time pitted by the same guy. So if someone flamed out, the one guy had to run the cars. And there were so many occasions where that one guy ran 3 cars in a row because all of them flamed out at exactly 21 minutes. So this is where sort of the hatred for Novorossi becomes. And if you haven't heard it, ask JK about Indonesia 2006 and the semifinal. And remember that so you need to remind him of like 5-minute fuel mileage or something like that. And you'll see his face just melt. And he'll tell you why he hates Novorossis.
Well, I happen to like them. So, but I heard that Guimar will have a Nova based. They are Nova based, and I heard they bought like a bunch of Nova Rossi engines. So
I do wish they would come back and make good engines because I mean they had their place for sure. I mean Robert won a Worlds with them. There was a time where in Europe they were very popular. They worked really well in hot conditions.
And America. So
maybe America, but in Europe it would like Southern Europe in hot conditions they were really good.
Well, they work wonders on her, dude, in the DR. I've ran them when it's 100 degrees outside, and they're perfect. So
yeah, but that's what I mean. Yeah, maybe hot and humid it was good.
Well, we shall see. I think Reds is gonna.
It never was.
I think Reds is gonna be blow up in the USA next year, personally. All right.
I think so too.
So Cavallari made 2 moves this week. He's going to ELSE. Is it ELSE or ELSE? ELSE tuned. So just so people know, this is a well-known brand in the on-road section. They have made off-road engines, but Nova Rossi based, and I tell you, the ones that I've seen were scream like a rape 8. So
they have started making OS based.
Now they have OS
since they have made it for a few years already.
Okay, okay. So I think her is ELSE tuned can fill in that factory spot that MX had. I'm sure he doesn't have the money that MX had, but
for sure not. Not like hiring 5 or 6 world class drivers, so, but he can hire maybe 1 or 2.
Right. So he's hired the GOAT, and I think that's a good move for Cav. I think he gets a paycheck. I think he helps grow these engines if they work for him, which I think they will because they're pretty much OS. And then I think they're gonna probably fill in that spot that like nice factory massaged MX engine that the MXs were, like, you know what I mean? Just a little bit different. So I can see that. I can see LSE Tune becoming more popular in America with Cav behind there. And then he signed up with One Up, which I guess is not a surprise because Joe Pillars is the manager there and all these guys are friends. And
I thought he was already signed with One Up.
Yeah.
So.
I wonder if One Up makes this enough money to pay. Like, I'm not sure how much they pay these guys. Maybe.
But what do they even give to Cav, or what do they pay for?
They sell
what products do they have apart from like greases and some small things? I don't think they manufacture anything really. They just have a team.
Well, they have that cool. I think they have that cool like solder iron as well.
Yeah, but I mean they do accessories mostly, right?
Okay.
So greases, and I don't know if they do oils, but I know they do some greases and
they do washers, all that type. I mean, it's a lot of 10 scale stuff, so that's probably why. It's 10 scale stuff, so I don't really pay attention to it.
Actually, they do some on-road stuff. They do have quite a bit of on-road equipment. Right. So that's one of their things.
Well, I think people, well, is Cav getting desperate? Or I said, well, he's got to make up for that $2,500 a month and travel that he was getting from MX. You know what I mean? Because that's pretty much what he's getting.
And I mean, I don't know how much Horizon pays him, but like in the past, I bet he was making a good amount of money from especially Yokomo S-Works, all that stuff. I think that time he made a lot of money. So yeah, I guess he just wants to make the same, just needs to get more sponsors and all that. Much more probably pays him pretty well as well. So he's staying there. Yeah. One thing I feel is odd is that Cavallari is not running OS. It just feels a bit weird because
it doesn't Horizon
is
maybe no money with that.
Stupid.
No money with that.
Maybe, but like I find it odd that Horizon has pretty much all the brands except for no engine brands at all. So I find that a bit sort of weird. It's like, are they going to buy one? Is it it may be just that there isn't an American engine brand, so they really can't buy one.
I don't know, dude.
Something like this.
I don't know.
But it's a bit.
They'll
weird
figure out a way though. They'll figure out a way
right.
to buy an engine brand. Don't worry. They will. That's going to be interesting. All right. So Tebow kind of announced this on the podcast, but he's going to Tekin for electronics. I think that would do well for him. He did not really like the McLaren stuff at all, and that would be great for him as well. So congratulations to Teebs. That's his nickname, Teebs. Everybody call him Teebs.
Teebs.
And Ronald Falk to Automatics. I knew this was coming. He told me a while ago. So this is probably the biggest move I've seen so far, and this kind of rules out X-Ray, Infinity,
even
WRC. These companies that
if
have
someone was thinking of it. Serpent as well.
Yeah, this kind of eliminates them. But who knows?
It's pretty much AE, TLR, or Mayako left, and AE seems very unlikely
S-Works.
unless Ongaro go. Yeah, why not
Tekno.
S-Works? But
Tekno
okay,
could
but
do it.
like, come on, can they afford Runafolk after all the other guys they're signing?
I don't know.
Doubt
I don't
it.
know. I don't know.
Very much
It's
doubt
definitely a conundrum. He is not letting me know anything at all. He said you'll find out the day before so we can record it. So
I like that attitude.
he's actually he showed me his cars yesterday. He's putting his touring car together in his 12 scale for the ETS. And the Kilics are actually going. Burak, who's actually on this podcast this week, is actually going to ETS as well. All right. Another big surprise was Tanner Denny out at Mugen. Now, this was a shocker yesterday for me because we all know that I think Tanner Denny had a great year, and he does this part-time. He isn't, I don't think he gets paid. He may get some travel help, but he really showed the world what he can do this year, I believe. And
yeah, like podium at DNC.
Yeah, he had another podium.
Top 4 at these big races. I think he made the main at Nats. Or actually, did he go to the Nats?
Yes, he was there.
Not sure.
Yeah,
he was there. So okay, yeah. I mean,
so this and then like he's
one
leaving.
of the best seasons for it. This feels like Josh Wheeler.
Right. Yeah. So what about
was that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember him where he would just not practice for a year, then to show up at the Nats and qualify second.
Yeah, I bet you can still
like this is
make the main.
Yeah, but this is sort of like this year Tanner had like the year Tanner had this year. Kind of reminds me of that when Josh Wheeler could just do that.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously Tanner Denny is much more involved than Josh Wheeler at that time was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still very impressive doing it like part-time, and he missed a lot of races as well.
Yeah, we shall see. But you also know like he kind of goes where Mayfield goes. So it's kind of weird to see him leaving Mugen.
It would be
Well, what if Mayfield's leaving Mugen?
Yeah, but I think it would be odd to have sort of him leave first and then Mayfield follow him. I think you would go Mayfield first, then
I know.
And the thing is, like, if Mayfield leaves, I can't understand why Drake would stay.
Well, I don't think Mayfield's leaving personally. He wouldn't leave this close to a year.
But for sure. But I mean, like, let's imagine that Mayfield is leaving. That sort of makes it that also Drake is leaving. And who is left at Mugen at that point? Because I think Drake is one of the sort of main guys at Mugen America or whatever it is in America.
I don't know.
And that
dude.
also would mean Chuhi is out of Mugen as well. Well, how much? I don't know how much he's involved.
Well, who's gonna fill? Well, this also leaves a spot open at Mugen for somebody, and I think we might see somebody like Lutz, or I doubt it. Lutz, they ain't gonna pay him what he needs. But I can see maybe Bornhorst. Somebody might go Mugen, or maybe they just won't have a second person. Maybe they feel Drake and Danny. Maybe they think Mayfield and Drake is enough at these races.
The thing is really that Mugen is huge,
but
even
they don't
if
pay.
Danny doesn't run it.
But they don't pay.
Yeah, but it's like I think Mugen is one of the biggest brands in America. Like the Mugen Mafia and all that stuff they have going on. They don't really need to have that many top drivers. As long as Mayfield wins the way he does usually, and as long as Drake is as popular as he has been now and is now, like I can't see like a reason for Mugen to rush into a decision to hire someone.
Me neither, but they've always had that second person though. Well, and Drake is getting to the point where I don't think you're gonna, he can still make these mains, but they want somebody.
I don't think they had a second person.
Well, they had before they had this. They had Cole Ogden was on there. Like it was always Cole Ogden and some guy.
Yeah, but I don't. But Cole was already in 2018. Cole was already HB, I believe.
Did he get on there? If I think he
at least 2018 he was already HB.
Really?
Yeah, at least 2019 he was with. Then he was running RCGP.
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
so,
it's going to be...
but
the rumors is that Tenny's going to...
Mugen,
Go ahead, sorry.
Mugen is such a huge brand as just the name Mugen that they can afford to have only one top guy.
This is true.
As long as they have good team management, as long as they have someone like Drake to be the ambassador or whatever you might call it. So I think Mugen is one of the only brands who can pull this off if they want to.
Yeah, I think so. And they have Robert and they have the Kilics. And then who else do they have?
Yeah. Well, in Europe, Mugen is pretty huge.
Yeah.
It's Robert, the Kilic Brothers. In UK, they have the Skidmores. In France, they must have someone.
I don't know. But it's going to be
Maybe
interesting.
They don't have anyone in France at the moment. But they are pretty well represented for sure.
From the rumors say that Danny's going to S-Works, which I can see. But then I heard everybody's going to S-Works. So that leads to a couple more things. Seth freaking Van Dalen. I thinking that he's done with Tekno and he's making videos like of building his new truggy and all that stuff. So maybe he's not out at Tekno. I don't know.
That would be so weird because like the vibe has been that he's out.
Yes.
And like everything, like all the suspensions, all the drama with Bornhorst suggests that he's out. But maybe Tekno turned on Joe. Maybe Tekno was like, Seth is the good guy, fuck Joe, and Joe is out.
Well, Jesus,
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's our next thing because I was reading Tyler Hooks' Live RC silly season report, and he even said that the rumor is that Joe Bornhorst is out. And he would know. Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, he wouldn't say. I don't think he would write that if he knew Joe was still staying at Tekno.
Maybe they thought. Maybe they thought.
Or maybe he's playing 3D chess or something. But
maybe. But I mean, if Seth stays on, so they have Steph, Tyler Jones, and Tebow, and then they have Wiggins, and then that whole plethora of fast up and coming young guys behind them, and Barufalo.
Let's think about Tekno. So. 2020, they had Joe, Tebow. Let's go from best driver to sort of worst. So they had Tebow, McBride. Tebow and McBride, hard to sort, but those are the top two clear. When going into 2020, so Tebow, McBride. Then they had Joe, who's getting paid. Then they had Jones, Seth.
Jones is getting paid, and
he is okay.
Jones got paid this year because he signed in 21.
Okay.
But I don't think Seth was getting travel.
So Seth is the fifth guy. So now let's imagine we know McBride is out for sure. He gets paid. We know that Joe is rumored to be out and he gets paid. So pretty much they now have the choice to kick Seth as well. And then get in sort of 3 drivers, which most likely they would have to pay them all. So now at this point, it doesn't sound that smart. So yeah, so now you would...
Because the rumors is that Barufalo is going to Tekno, so...
Yeah, so Barufalo I think is confirmed Tekno. So we know that Barufalo is basically going to replace McBride. Basically, sort of. So now it's either Joe out or Seth out. One gets paid, one gets not. So it's to me, it's much easier to kick Joe out
and then pay Seth.
Because in the end, then pay Seth because Seth GQ'd Silver State. Seth's finished second at Silver State. Joe's best result of the year was maybe a win in e-buggy or chuggy. I can't even remember. I don't really want to say it, but he's been pretty average this year.
See, now you're starting trouble. I happen to agree with you, though. No, I happen to agree with you. I agree with you. 100%.
I didn't want to say that, but it's the word I had to use.
Yeah, you definitely can't be using that word. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen if Seth stays. I think like they I think this is what Tekno did. They said, hey, here guys, put you in the pit. Whoever comes out with the best results over the next year, you get paid. And then obviously, I also think the popularity of Joe Bornhorst is dropping a little bit. You know what I mean?
For sure. A
little bit.
I think he used to, like when he used to have those really good top 3 runs at DNC, at least in the Shruggy class. Like that was when Joe had that, when they were him and Lutz, and he might have beat Lutz at the times. So that was sort of which built him up. But now it's like Tebow almost regularly is the best guy at Tekno. Jones and Seth have these crazy TQ runs or second place finish in qualifying. Joey's always there. He's in the top 7, maybe, and on a good day might finish on a podium. But he never has those sort of flashy performances, so he always falls back to sort of the sideline. So I mean, I was convinced that Seth was out, but now taking all of this sort of into account and thinking where could Seth go, it to me it seems sort of more likely that Joe is actually out and Seth is staying at Tekno.
You know what? Joe might need to move too. You know what I mean? To rejuvenate his career.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to go into next, which is I think the sort of team atmosphere Tekno has had, and seeing what you filmed at the Nats after the race, that's not something you enjoy doing. Like, you
not
don't
at that
like
level.
to be mad after every single main.
Not at that level. Because that's money on the line right there.
Yeah. So for Joe, for his sort of mind staying in the game, and for realistically, I think there are better options for Joe as sort of how he drives, what the cars are like, and like imagine HB team next year being Cole Ogden and Joe Bornhorst.
I can see that.
Versus him being part of Tekno. Like,
I can see that.
I think that's a good move for both HB and Joe. Because HB needs someone else than Cole. Joe is probably not going to be that expensive. I don't think he doesn't live in California for sure. So he lives somewhere where it's decent amount of money to live. So he can afford to not bring in that much of salary. And like, he can pull those results which HB needs. They need 2 guys in the main. Like, they're the type of brand. They don't have that Mugen credibility where they just need Mayfield.
I agree with you.
More than...
But
so I think...
Go ahead.
Joe to HB would be one of the best possible moves for both parties.
For both of them. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And he's still young. He's not that old. You know, he's still got... He's like... Joe isn't slow. Like, let's be honest. He's not slow.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
Maybe he's hit a wall too. If he's out, because we don't know if he's out. It's nothing been confirmed yet, but it's kind of if he does. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see. And then that brings me up to another thing. Lutz, I'm for sure is pretty out of WRC, but I heard that he has a deal. But we're looking at, we haven't mentioned one company that doesn't have another driver in America, and they probably need one right now. X-Ray. Yeah,
that's actually a good point. I hadn't even thought about that.
Because
that's actually a really good point.
Especially with COVID and maybe now this new variant coming and maybe Canada getting locked down again. They need somebody in America that can go to races and represent X-Ray. And I actually think that would be a great move for either Joe or Lutz, to be honest. Like, if Lutz can fit into like a USA team manager role, I know that's Gord's role, but I think Lutz would be better at it.
I don't think Lutz is sort of a team manager guy. He's sort of
at Kyosho.
I don't think he's not the type of guy to be sort of Thomas Tran or, you know, like, it's different to be a team manager, going to talk to all these people and hanging out with all these people, and just being a good guy to hang around at, like, answer questions, do lives. It's a different attitude and it's a different type of person you need. I think Lutz is very good at the sort of the way he does it, which he does lives, he does videos, he answers a lot of questions, he talks to a lot of people, but it's not like he goes out to talk to people. People come to him and he talks with them, and he goes to all these smaller events and all that type of stuff. Whereas team manager needs to make sort of everyone feel that they are welcome. It's a different attitude you need, and
he can be the guy at the races, like that Ty isn't there for X-Ray. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think Lutz would actually be, as long as he gets along with Tesmans, I think he would be a perfect fit for X-Ray.
I think he's going X-Ray.
But I don't know if he does.
I think he is.
So I hope he is, but it looks like, to me, it looks
what
like
if Danny goes to what if Danny goes to AE?
Tanner Denny to AE.
I could see that.
They do need another top guy.
And he races, and he can race 10 scale too.
He can. But AE has a fucking packed 10 scale team though. I don't
yes,
think
they do.
really
And they
need
have
anyone
Aiden
to-
and all that type of stuff. Yeah. I don't see that happening because they have Kotalar, they have Aiden.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Maybe Losi gets a
Nah,
third
I
team
mean-
member.
Yeah, I mean, Danny could go anywhere.
Mhm.
Anywhere.
I think
Danny
so too.
could go from WRC to TLR.
I think it's going to be
AE
S-Works
to
though, because he's
X-Ray
like
to-
Arizona. Tim Limes, they're in Arizona.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know-
The thing is, like, I thought for some reason that Hacker lived in Arizona, but I just checked. And
No, he lives
doesn't,
like
so-
Ohio or
but-
something. He's from
yeah,
middle,
but they like Hacker and Mayfield and all those guys, Team Lime, and all these guys hang out a lot. So S-Work seems like the most obvious choice for Denny. For like, to me, the biggest question marks are Lutz and Joe Bornhorst. I think they have a perfect fit for each,
Mhm.
but I don't know if they are gonna go to that place.
And you know what? I think that Seth can go to HB or X-Ray as well and do well. And
He
probably
could,
S-Works. Or he can go
But
Mugen.
the thing is, if Joe leaves, then Tekno needs to hire someone else. If Seth leaves as well,
Right. But,
know?
not really. Not really. Because then
if both.
they have Jones,
No, but
they have Tebow, and they have Wiggins who can still make mains. And then they have young guys that
No,
are coming up.
Okay, Wiggins is okay, but he's not like.
I know
you
what you're
can't
gonna
trust
say. I know
Wiggins
what
to
you're
make an A main.
I know what you mean. But they don't need 3 guys. They can get away with 2. But you know what? We'll talk about this more next week. Let me know some more stuff.
Tekno isn't like TLR or AE. Like AE has been running the whole year with Rivkin, and then maybe Pavidis makes the main, and
Aiden.
Aiden Horn makes the main. But like the most of the year, like it's Rivkin and then maybe some young AE driver. They don't have a sort of a second committed driver, and they still have a huge team because they are AE.
They have Aiden now because I think he's going to be running more Nitro next year. He wasn't supposed to run
Yeah, but
Nitro
I mean,
this year.
which races did he make the A main in apart from the Nats?
I did have. He made it at.
PMB, I think he did.
Yeah, PM maybe. I don't know. He's made quite a few mains though. That's the thing about it. That's what got me.
But DNC, I don't remember
didn't.
him making the main.
I don't think he
Maybe
made the main
did,
at
but I
DNC.
don't remember.
That was like his first.
AMS, he didn't even show up.
Yeah, he didn't
Silver
go
State?
AMS.
Can't remember.
I can't
It's
remember. We'll look
Aiden
into
is
that next year.
fast. Aiden is good, but he's not the guy sort of like. If you compare Cavalieri to Aiden Horn,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like Cavalieri wasn't crazy good this year, but he was every single time he made the main.
Yes.
You know,
Probably slash
Fend was the
nationals.
number one guy for TLR. Okay, yeah, but Fend was the number one guy for TLR, like Rivkin is for AE.
Mhm.
And then Cavalier is the second one, but AE doesn't have a second one, you know?
I agree with you there. I agree with you. A steady 8 scale guy. I know, but Danny can do both.
10 scale they are covered.
Yeah,
But
I
8
agree with
scale,
you there.
It's much more different.
And I think Danny has a real job too. So maybe that works into his schedule as well. All right. Well, I think that's about it for news with that type of stuff. I think next week we'll talk more about silly season when we know a little bit more, but that's what's going on right now. Next up is another little segment that I think we're going to be doing in the new year, and that is brought to you by TNR Fuels, because here at the NNRC, we are all about the glory, and that glory is nitro. TNR Fuels is the hottest fuel on the market, owned and operated by Chris Nelson and his family, made by racers for racers. TNR Fuels is currently available throughout the USA. He's also working on international shipping. For more information, contact them on www.tnrfuels.com or contact Chris Nelson directly at chris@tnrfuels.com, or find them on House of RC or Facebook and just shoot them a message. He will get back to you. Thank you to TNR Fuels for their continued support of the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. So this week, and you know what, guys? Go cop yourself some TNR fuel. We're going to have some quarts to give away next in a couple of weeks as well. So we look forward to that. So Max, I wanted to, this little thing, this is a very small thing, but it caught my eye this weekend. So I wanted to talk about it because I think this is actually a good idea. And it's about this. It's about
this one.
J Concepts 4 rubber rings here. So just so people know what this is, I'll read to you what it is. This is actually for 10 scales. Continuing development is critical to performance. At Team J Concepts, we have developed a new option for tire sidewall support. During high traction or loaded conditions, tire sidewall deflection causes oversteer and inconsistency with driving performance. By adding the inner sidewall support adapter and gluing it into place, the sidewall effectively becomes much harder and allows the driver to enter smoother arcs and radius turns on the race track. Already used in competition, the sidewall support pieces have shown to work on glued, sealed, or naturally grippy surfaces where traction rolling or oversteering is an issue. In addition, when conditions are rough, bumpy, or dusty, the additional support drives smoother and with more consistency. At the Raw Nationals, Dakota Fenn, in conjunction with J Concepts team, installed the adapters into his Smoothie 2 tires, and Fenn TQ'd and won two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive modified classes in convincing fashion. On the glued track surface, the supports were added only to the inside of the outer sidewall and tack glued into place. The ultimate option to a massive array of tires that J Concepts already has. I actually think that this is actually a good idea. Because as we get onto tracks now, and I honestly think that in 2 years' time, we're going to see 8-scale high grip cars and loose grip cars. I honestly think we're going to see that. But this is a step towards that.
We kind of have that already.
Yes, but in 8-scale, I think we're going to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we have that, but people just set them up differently. For high grip and low grip.
So I think this is a good idea because I've you can run a softer tire because, when you run that soft tire, you always worry about that, that sidewall collapsing and then catching the wheel, and then that just makes you cartwheel a million times, what I do all the time. So I can see the concept with this working, but what I think this is going to lead to
is... The J concept?
Yeah, I can see the concept of J Concepts. I can see this lead into tires with different... It's concept, right? I can see this leading to tires with thicker or thinner sidewalls. So you can get like a super soft with an extra thick sidewall for high grip track. I think that's it's going to lead to more tire options, to be honest. But I think it's a good idea. And I think with the tracks that we have nowadays, it's here, it's just going to be, it's a great idea. So what are your opinions on this, Max?
Yeah, I mean, can't believe other manufacturers haven't come up with this way. I mean, I hate to say this, but I mean, this has been done a lot of times before.
Right.
I remember in 2018 at the Euros, me and David were gluing inside of the sidewalls. He was gluing part of rubber strips inside to the sidewalls in 8-scale. Every time you need to run a soft tire on semi-high grip track, it's you would need something like this. I think sort of this could be utilized even better if the tire manufacturer sort of made the tires so that you would either use at least one of these or two of these, or you had two different types. So let's imagine you make an 8-scale tire so that it works really well on a very low grip surface. So thin sidewall, you let it fold even a bit, sort of loamy, loose dust, sort of kind of like, well, I hope some of our listeners know like how J Concept reflex is. If you push the sidewalls, the whole tire sort of bounces up on the top. It becomes really round on the top. If you push on the sidewalls, it has almost no support whatsoever. That tire is magic on low grip, slightly bumpy. Now imagine if you construct tires like that, and then you make different types of these rubber rings, and you insert these to the tire. So you have this tire that works on low grip. If you go to a higher grip track, you just insert different style or different thickness of these rubber strips, and you gain sort of the functionality of a tire with a stiffer sidewall. Now, obviously, you could do it by producing 2 different types of molds or 3 different types of molds, but it's like a lot of money, a lot of work, and you need 3 different types of tires. So I think a lot of manufacturers should look into if this is a possibility if we want to keep on the road of doing sort of open tires, because the tire game is really expensive at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think tire manufacturers should look into a way to make it more affordable and still allow for these tuning options.
And now this is another cost on top of that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's what this cost for how many?
For the 10 scale, it's $11.90 is map price, and for 8 scale, it's $13.60.
For how many?
I'm assuming this
right?
It should be 4. I'm assuming 4 pieces.
Yeah, so I mean that's still less than half the price of
but you think
and
about that though. You add that on top of, you put that $14 on top of your tires, or this.
No, but
I'm just saying.
I don't think you have to glue them on there.
Yeah. So I get it. I understand. Maybe this is a cheaper option than actually like making thicker sidewalls as well. It's more work. Is there anything else that can be done? Like you glue the tires, maybe some different firms as well. Maybe firm technology can be improved.
One of the best things to do is either glue the foam or not glue the foam, because the foam moves around sideways quite a lot.
Right.
So if you glue the foam to the rim, it doesn't move at all. So the carcass of the tire it's not stiffer, but it holds into place much better. It still sort of scrubs onto the side. So it moves over the foam to the side, but it doesn't move like the whole tire doesn't move like this, So
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I just think this is evolution. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think this is positive. I think this is definitely better than doing another sort of row of tires. So like J Concepts has something like 6-7 compounds that they are like using the whole time. Imagine in America, you would probably need something like 4 or 5 threads. So you're looking at a minimum of 35 sets of tires. So you have one of each.
Mm-hmm. I bet you can reuse them too. So you can cut them out and then let them stay in acetone and reuse them.
Yeah. Imagine sort of this, like taking this technology, which is just a rubber strip inside the wheel, taking this sort of adjustability and developing it for better and better use. Like it functions better inside the wheel. Maybe you cut the amount of compounds to like 4. Maybe you cut the amount of threads to 3. So you're looking at what's that? You're looking at 15 set of tires approximately. 35 to 15. That's a huge difference.
That's a lot of tires.
So and imagine you would most likely, if you go to a race, need 2 sets of each at least. So you be instead of taking 70 sets of tires to each race, you're looking at taking at tops 30 or 35, 40. So I think if this sort of technologies is like developed to the max, I think it has a lot of value for the driver and for the racers, and it allows for more tunability as well.
I can see it. I can see what's going to come out of this. There's going to be a lot of different stuff. And then...
Yeah. And I kind of want to rant about this topic because I can't see the open tires. Looking at the development of the tracks in RC, especially if you look at the UK, it's
oil.
It's oil and it's just insane how much tires matter when it's oil tracks, when it's high grip tracks, when the tracks are close to asphalt, where it's rubber to ground contact. And as soon as the rubber starts to grip to the surface, you get that blue groove. As soon as that happens, if you're on the wrong type of rubber, it's just like there's nothing to do. You just can't be fast, really. And I think sort of that development, like that happens a lot more often than it did like 10 to 15 years ago. And I think as long as we go to this direction, there's really no point in having open tires anymore. It's just like you're only focusing on tires. Like look at 10 scale racing these days. These guys scrub tires. They buy new tires and then they just scrub it to slicks and they run it for a few heats. They try 5 different types of sauces and different foams, and they put a spell on them, on top of them, and sprinkle some whatever. And then they are probably good. And if it sucks, you do it all again and try a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not fun for anyone. And I think like full scale motorsports, yeah, they have the safety factor in it as well. But it always shows that when you have open tires, it becomes just crazy. It's so much money spent, so much like wasted energy on just tires. And I hope that we get into a point where we can get away from this open tire sort of policy and we can get control tires. And I hope that it can be done in a way where it doesn't eat out multiple manufacturers. Because I can see, especially in America, because this is common practice, it's like the big brands eat the small brands.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that doesn't happen. And like some like Horizon, I wouldn't be surprised if they just like said to every series, hey, we want to run Proline at your series, and then just like every other brand dies out in America. Mm-hmm. That I don't want to happen, but I want to have something else than what is going on right now, because I'm tired of bringing 2 suitcases to a race, one filled with tires, one half filled with tires, and the rest of my other RC stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's just
crazy.
There's no point in that. It's insane.
It's crazy. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. I think we're going to see a whole bunch of companies come up with this now. And then you're going to have, I know what's going to be next. Different thickness of bands and all that type of, I bet you. I know what's going to happen.
I mean,
next.
that's if J Constance wants to implement this further, like that's the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Very obvious step. And then foams, like some brands already offer 2-3 different type of foams. A lot of times they just find one that works for most conditions, but if someone actually wanted to pay attention to that, there will be more. And there's like, if you want to put time and money into tires, you can waste so much. Mm-hmm. You can waste so much into it.
I bet so.
And that's why I think control tires is the way to go. And locally, I don't think it's like mandatory. And one of the coolest things I remember seeing was in Austria, where they had this local series and they said, hey, for this series, AKA drivers can run Impact. Mm-hmm. Proline drivers can run Blockade. Pro Circuit tire drivers can run Hot Dices. So every brand brought out, every distributor of that brand brought out a tire that works in that area, is matching the other tires, and I believe they tested them beforehand. So if you have a brand of your preference or you have a sponsor or whatever, you can run your own tire at these local events. And you don't have to spend like the full amount of money and buy new tires for each race. And still you're getting in the same sort of range of the other guys. I think this is sort of a good middle ground, at least start out with before going to full control tires. But I think bigger races like Euros, for example, should just be control tires. I don't think there's any good excuse for not to be control tires. 10 scale already is. And I think it's much better that way.
We shall see. It's going to be interesting to see this. And this is going to be evolution. It's inevitable, and you're going to see every company do this, or people just use the J Concepts ones, and it honestly looks like it's just like they cut it from an old wheel or something. But I know they did in an old tire. But
that's what we used to do.
Yeah, So
I remember Joseph doing this as well at some point.
All right. So let us know what you guys think about this product. I had some people share some opinions on it. They said we need to just develop sidewall and firm technology a bit more. So we shall see. But yeah.
I want to see when the manufacturer comes out with a belted tire that actually works. Mm-hmm. Because then it sucks. We kind of tried it, but it was pretty shitty. But it was still super fast. But it's a lot of work and not worth it really.
All right. So we have another little thing that we're going to be doing for the next year as well, I believe. So this is what to watch this weekend. So that's brought to you by Lugz Racing. Lugz has over 55 years of combined experience in RC. They've been testing treads, wheels, and rubber for performance, You have the Lugz Econ tires developed with racing budgets in mind. High quality but lower costs means savings can be passed on to you, the racer. They have their premium line, the Protos and the TQs. They got their truggy tires in. And those are there to provide pure performance made using their custom molds, proprietary rubber compound, and that's what they're really testing out and what people are using. You can get the tires in medium, soft, super soft, mega soft, and now long wear. Check them out at www.lugzracing.com. Use the promo code NNRCLUGZ in all caps, and you will save some money off of that. So thank you to Lugz for their support. They donated some tires for us to give away to you guys on the Christmas show. So that's great. Not much on. We're coming on to the end of the year here. First off, we have the U.S. Indoor Champions in Cleveland. Scotty's race. They had the onward version where the Dr. Alexander Hagberg went. And Max, you got to watch some 12 scale last weekend. And they'll be having the off-road version this weekend. Doesn't look like many top guys are going. I saw Cavs going there. And they said Orlowski, is supposed to come back over and race, which I think is kind of crazy.
Why did he fly back then?
Yeah.
Why would he fly? No. This weekend is the ETS, right?
Is it this
When
weekend?
was the ETS?
No, it's
Because
next weekend.
He's most likely going to the ETS.
Okay. So someone said he was flying back over for this race. I don't know. I don't know how true that was.
I mean, could be, but that would be weird because he's. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why he wouldn't be at the ETS.
Yeah, why wouldn't he just go up and do the on-road race and then do this? But I don't see him on the list. So not a big list coming up. I think Live RC will have coverage. We'll post it on the NNRC Facebook page, so you can follow that. And then we have the Fall Brawl. Oh, man, this brings back so many good memories. I really enjoyed this race. This was my first race back to America back in 2017 with Joseph. I saw the track. It looks really good. But it's they put a lot of sugar on it too, so it's gonna be high grip. The weather looks great. I remember the year we had those badass pits, it got completely rained out. I was upset about that. The track looks really good. There will be no coverage, unfortunately, but I think there will be people like RC Jers, my buddy. He'll be doing videos and stuff like that. So I'll post them up on the NNRC and also in the Discord when he does them, so we can get some ideas. Not many people going to this race. I'm surprised not even Cole Ogden looks like he's going to this race. Tyler Jones is there.
I think it's a bit too late. Let's be honest.
Well, he always goes to this race.
Okay, for Cole,
Yes.
yeah, but I mean for a lot of other guys, like
This race has been
like,
plagued with getting rained out
December
every year
is-
too.
Yeah, that too. But on top of it, like December is
And it's cold there. It's
it's a
cold
bit
there
late,
this time of
yeah.
year. So, but it's a great track, a great race. I always thought that this race should probably be earlier so it can get more people there. But hopefully,
I think it used to be in like October.
They had a
something like
warm-up
that.
race
Late
in
September,
October.
October.
Or they usually have a warm-up race in
Because
October,
I remember when
November.
JQ went to this race.
Yeah, I went with Joseph, and it's always in the beginning, the first weekend of December now. So,
Okay.
but the weather's good. A lot of the Northeast guys made the trip down there, and the track looks great. They got a back section on there. They got this fast whoops. It's just going to be great. And I look forward to the video. And I guess next weekend we have the NCT up at Moses Lake, up in the Pacific Northwest. But there will be no coverage. But just in case you guys want to check some racing out, it's the end of the year, so there's no real racing going on. So, it'll be more obviously in January. So, yeah. That's what to watch this weekend, Max. If you guys want to do some RC or follow some RC racing, check out those two races. The U.S. Indoor Champions in Cleveland, which is indoor carpet, and the Fall Brawl at the Badlands in Myrtle Beach. And not only that, like honestly, like at this race, you get some really nice hotels for really cheap. You know what I mean? And you get to stay in them, and like a hotel that would be $350 a night, you get it for like $100 a night or less. So, because it's slow time in Myrtle Beach. So good luck to everybody going there, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Max, speaking of Myrtle Beach and the beach, it's time to go on to the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A. Are you ready to answer some questions, Maximus?
Yeah.
All right.
Always.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the podcast.
I know, you and Joseph's favorite part. All right. So let's get on to the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A.
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lugz Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
All right. Thank you to Beach RC for their continued support of the podcast. There are 12 days of Christmas starts tomorrow, today when you listen to this podcast. I'm in the future.
Why just 12?
Because it's the 12 days of Christmas song, dude. On the 12th day for Christmas, my true love gave to me an RC boat with some batteries. And so yeah, and he has this Cyber Week sale going on, and of course we have an affiliate link. If you guys can use that, it's in the written description of this podcast. It helps us out. Thank you to Brent and those guys. They're all at Badlands this weekend. Should be good. I look forward to Lucas's vlogs. He does a really good job of that. All right, so our first question is from Christopher Nelson. He wants to know, what is the difference between MC or clay compound versus a soft or super soft compound? Most of the guys I'm racing with use J-Con ellipsis, and I'm on positron in super soft, and just the rubber is different. Is there a different rubber, or is it just in my head between the two companies? So I'm guessing not all clay compounds are equal. Yeah, so he wants to know the difference between. He wants to know the difference between MC.
The first part I got, super soft versus clay.
So he says, I'm on the positrons in super soft, and he just says the rubber is different. Is there a different rubber, or is it just in my head between the two companies? Yeah, I believe they have different rubber.
Yeah. I do believe most tire manufacturers have different companies they resource the rubber from. But I don't know. I mean,
well, I'm sure like a super soft, like the equivalent in Proline to J Concepts is different because the rubbers are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's not exact.
Between different brands, I would imagine these both have their own factories and both have their own rubber suppliers.
Right.
And even if they have the same rubber suppliers, the recipe for the rubber is different. It's been rumored that Mark Pavidis gave AKA compounds to Hot Race in America. But I don't know, is this true, or
that would be sweet revenge?
I don't know the basis of this rumor, but this is what I've heard, and this is why Hot Race has gotten really good in America, is what they say on the streets. But don't know. But sourcing a certain type of rubber is not that difficult, I'd imagine. So you could copy a compound if you wanted, I think, but it's not that easy though. Like copying is not that easy, but making a compound that you like from a certain type of rubber, I think is possible. But back to the sort of question in hand, most likely Proline clay compound is very different to J Concepts. Well, not very different to J Concepts clay. Same with AK, I believe. That's my best guess, but it's hard to say.
Well, what's the difference? He wants to know the difference between clay and super soft. I believe
Okay. I'll go into that next. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know specifically the sort of chemical difference in it, but clay isn't actually sort of soft compound.
I think it's a natural rubber, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. So it's not a synthetic rubber.
I do believe the sort of the stretchiness of the tires you run is often done by the silicone. So something like a medium compound rubber, and if you ever sort of like held in hand like the Hot Race tires, they have this sort of weird smell, and they are very sort of like it's not that they're hard, but it's sort of very stiff in a way. Mm-hmm. And I think natural rubber is that way quite often. And you need to add something like silicone and different types of additives to the rubber to make it sort of this stretchy, like J Concepts, like green compound, or if you go crazy, the black compound. It's crazy. It's like some like bubble gum or something. It's so like stretchy and
soft,
weird. Yeah. So that type of rubber, I believe, has a lot of, I don't know, silicon in particular, but something that softens up the natural rubber in it. Something like clay compounds, I do believe, have more natural rubbers, not so much synthetic materials. And the reason why they work better on sort of clay tracks is because there's already a lot of rubber to the ground, and this sort of rubber to rubber motion is good for the tire. It produces more grip. So when you have a natural rubber against natural rubber, it produces more grip. So this is why clay compounds are better in indoor tracks, because the rain and wind isn't able to wash away the rubber from the ground, and there isn't that much dust because the track stays moist. So yeah, I do believe the main difference is clay compounds have more natural rubber, and regular compounds, and like especially the softer compounds, have a lot of synthetic materials like silicon, I do believe.
Okay.
But I don't know like exactly what it is. I don't have an idea.
Christopher has another question, and he asks, is weight in both 8-scale nitro and electric worth the effort by buying crazy priced titanium parts like screws, camber links, lighting, drive shafts, etc.? In 10-scale, we are shaving every ounce off because pink pinions and stock bodies, so that can be competitive. On my AE car, I'm down to 1,500 grams and still shaving weight. Well, I think there's a minimum weight or maximum weight there's a minimum weight for 8-scale.
Minimum, yeah.
And
yeah, but I mean, the only car that is Mugen is, I think, 100 grams away.
Hey, you kind of stalled there, Max. Can you start over again?
Yeah. Okay. So, okay.
All right, go ahead. You're having some internet issues, it looks like, Max. I thought Finland had the best internet in Europe.
My internet should be fine. I don't know what it is.
All right, so
it has been fine.
Back to weight.
I did move, but
back to weight.
So wait, like from 8-scale cars, box stock, Kyosho is the only one which is even close to the minimum weight limit. I think it's about 50 grams away or so. Mugen is at least 100 grams away. AE is almost 200 grams away. Same story with a lot of other cars. I'd imagine S-Works is very heavy too, looking at the design. HB might be somewhere in the middle, but it's still rather heavy car, I would believe.
Yeah, but you believe that we should have lighter cars, right? Or maybe lighter cars.
Yes, for sure.
I think
for sure.
So I just want to answer his questions real quick. In 8-scale, definitely you want to get the links and stuff. I would suggest titanium because they're just a little bit stronger and they're lighter. With screws,
I use aluminum.
Yeah, I mean, you use aluminum, so with screws, I wouldn't use in 8-scale titanium screws because they can break too easy.
Not that easy. I mean, on upper links, on steering links, and on the chassis, on
the bottom of the chassis, you don't want to use them.
Yeah, on steering links, on shock sort of links, and shock ends, the shock top screws, steering links, upper links, and bottom of chassis, and anything that comes to a huge amount of stress, like the engine screws or brake cam screws, or so if you think there's a lot of stress in that part, I go with steel screws. But everything else, pretty much, I go with titanium if I have the opportunity. Now, is it worth it to spend $150 for a titanium screw kit from T-Works or whatever, Lunsford? For a regular guy, no, I don't think it is. You save, I think we measured, I can't remember the exact amount. It was either 40 grams or 80 grams. But it's not a major difference. Like changing your linkage balls, changing your turnbuckles, and then getting rid of some heavy elements in the car, that saves a lot more with a lot less money.
Yeah.
So
He asks
like,
about lighted out drives.
Post,
And I just wanted to say that.
well, I don't know. Like, I don't think a lot of cars have light and out drives anymore.
Well, we had some on the JQ, and obviously, but the light and out drives are more for quicker, just faster acceleration. You know what I mean? Less rotating weight, so you get a little faster acceleration.
It still saves.
Of course.
Weight. Like, rotating mass is, there are some things to it, but I think the friction is much more sort of important part in it than the rotating mass. If you have a heavy flywheel or a heavy center diff, that definitely affects the handling of the car, just the weight of it. The thing is, like, if you're a regular guy, you shouldn't spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah, you don't need it like you do in stock racing. That's what I think he's looking at.
Yeah.
You don't need it like you do in stock.
Yeah.
What you want to do in 8-scale racing is have places to put weight places, and distribute that weight in different areas. And you also have a minimum weight. So if you come in like a real race at the Royal National, if you come in on the minimum weight, you get DQ'd. So
I mean, unless you run a Kyosho, that's pretty much impossible to do.
Oh, Lutz came in on the minimum weight in Truggy for his tires.
Truggy is different. Truggy, the minimum weight is very low.
Right.
Oh, very high. Yeah, very high.
But very good questions. Very good questions. Yeah, this ain't pink pinions. This ain't pink pinions, Christopher. This is 8-scale nitro. Maybe get e-buggy rate on a little bit though. E-buggy, you want to get it because e-buggy seem to be heavier than nitro buggies. So
I suggest running shorties in e-buggy. I'd suggest just eliminating, like, if you can run like one of those small motors if they have enough power. I haven't run e-buggy in a while, so I don't really know how they're these days. But the thing is, if I want to race competitively, I want to make my car as fast as possible. I try to make it as light as possible, and then find a setup that works for the light car. Because a lot of people have this sort of misconception that heavy cars are faster and better and easier to drive. And it's just not true. It might be in your case, but that means your setup is wrong. It's not made for a light car. It's made for a heavy car.
I agree.
So, but it's not worth the money if you're a regular guy.
I think we're going to see more technology put into weight savings, but it's still going to be like, hey, you can put weight her and her and her. You know what I mean? That's going to be, it's pretty much there now.
One thing that happened, I don't know if, I just actually yesterday I was going through some of the other podcasts when I was looking for the clips. I heard Joseph and you talk about sort of the Chrono RS03 and the Thunder Tiger when Tibor ran it in early 2000s. Like, these cars were barely over the minimum weight. Like, they're very, very light. But the issue back then was like, Joseph said that like Tibor broke every heat and the Chrono was like, it just not durable enough. Now we went to a direction where these cars are like, you can run it straight into a wall and it's hard to break these things.
I would agree.
So I think we have maybe gone even too far that direction. I would like to see sort of more lightweight cars come into future, but sort of save weight where you can. That's sort of the goal.
All right. So next up is from our good friend and partner, Connie Swenson. What's up, Connie? He says that the new House of RC 2.0 is coming. The new launch is coming out soon, so that's going to be good. If you guys haven't signed up House of RC, please go and do it. He says, Arlovsky wrote in his race report from the Florida Carpet Championships that it was a high grip American carpet. Is that even higher grip than the EOS carpet? What's the difference? Can you share your thoughts about the different brands and how they perform? TLR versus Schumacher are two different cars, at least in four-wheel drive. Pros and cons on the carpet. Well, I mean, isn't Schumacher like based on carpet racing from England?
Yeah.
They've had so much more time on it.
The thing is, though, yeah, that's true. But the thing is, though, that it's like carpet is, it's like saying like a track like
but there is differences in
OCRC
carpet. There is differences in carpet.
Yeah, and I think it's more difference in different carpets than it's in different dirt. So indoor like OCRC versus outdoor like the old Cactus Classic with sugar on it versus old sort of Finnish style outdoor with super low grip. I think there's less difference in all of that than there is in different type of carpet. So Astro is a completely different world. Then if you go to a regular sort of, I don't know what you would call it, sort of, but sort of a regular carpet with no loops, just the hair of the carpet.
This is what,
and then like full loops or whatever, and like EOS carpet is, and then like the really high loop carpet, like I've heard some people in America use. Yeah.
So
there is huge difference.
So just to the same gentleman who answered the questions before, asked the questions, Kristen. He answered, Christopher. He said, Connie, my understanding is that the EOS tends to be loose with modern buggies. Some tracks are using CRC carpet now because I believe it's cheaper, offers more grip, but you get more fuzz. Some tracks are straight up using double loop layer office tile type carpet, which is of course durable and has stupid amounts of grip. He says at my track we have EOS and double loop carpet we have EOS and double loop carpet at 2 nearby tracks, and there is a very significant difference. EOS is soft. He says, I'm on soft and using gold and white sticky kicks, gray carpet. Okay, yeah, he's just talking about the different things he used. So it just looks like the loops in the carpet, the height of the carpet as well is what makes it a big difference. So maybe that CRC, the carpet that they're using in Florida, was just faster. You know what I mean? And had more grip.
I mean, there's a difference. If like the EOS carpet, the loops are very soft. So they allow the car to move around a bit. It's still very high grip. Like the carpet, compared to a lot of carpet, like ran like before EOS carpet became like the norm. Like those carpet were very low grip. Like the EOS carpet was so high grip that even in Europe, people were like struggling to find a way to make the cars work at the time. And that carpet was crazy high grip. What he's talking about, like the very hard office. Did he say office tile? He called it.
Yeah, office tile. That
sort of
carpet.
Hard.
Yeah.
That hard looped carpet has even more grip because it doesn't allow the car to move around that much, and it's low, so the car it's super grippy. So there is huge differences in that, and I don't know what Orlowski means, but for sure the carpet itself probably was higher grip here than it usually is in Europe, and in Europe oftentimes the carpet is very sort of snappy. It wants to grip roll the car very easily, which I didn't see here like happening at all. I felt like no one almost grip rolled. The cars went really nicely around the track. And this is because the carpet, like EOS carpet especially, it's higher and it's softer. So it allows the car to sort of grab it a bit more.
Yeah.
So that's one major difference I felt. So someone like Fenn, who drives the car really hard into corners, he's definitely going to perform much better on carpet like this. I mean, that's just my assumption. I don't know for sure. I haven't ran on both, so I don't really know.
What is your opinion on the difference of cars, though? You know, you had like 4 major brands there: AE, X-Ray, TLR, and Schumacher. And so
I spoke with Joseph about the 4-wheel drive cars. He said that AE and TLR drove rather similarly and are rather similar. Well, he said there was difference between them, but they were rather similar in terms of geometry and all that. X-Ray was, in his words, the easiest car to drive. And no, he said X-Ray was the sort of most balanced car of all, like speed versus easy to drive. Then he said Yokohama was easy to drive but slow, and sort of AE and TLR were sort of.
He didn't try a Schumacher?
Somewhere. No, he didn't, because Schumacher is a very different style of car, and I think it's by far the best four-wheel drive on carpet for sure. Like the belt drive, the sort of stiff chassis, everything about it, like high diffs, it's just designed for carpet. It's a very good car on dirt as well, but it's a super good car on carpet. And I think the way Orlowski dominated it kind of showed that. Obviously, Fenn was really good in two-wheel drive, but I do believe the front tires they ran gave him a bit of an advantage. And I think the carpet also gave him a bit of an advantage in there.
He's been here before, I believe, too. Yeah. So, yeah. And Fenn's, like, let's not doubt, Fenn is amazing. Like, he is just good.
He is. But, like, for sure, like, if like the Americans came to at EOS or something, you would see them struggling a lot more. No doubt Fenn would still be competitive, and drivers like Cav or Mayfield. Oh, Mayfield wasn't here, or was it? Oh, he was here.
Yes, he was.
But this year he wasn't. Like this year, his 10 skill season was off. But let's say Cavalier and Fenn most likely would have been good in Europe as well, because they've done that before. Fenn hasn't, but Cavalier has. The Americans can be fast in Europe, but for sure they had a slight advantage at this race, probably because of the carpet, but also because it was open tires. It's like Europeans are probably not very used to that, especially on carpet, because we just run the tire we have and we just try to make the car work with the tire we have. And here, like I saw Mayfield running a few different type of tires. I saw a lot of guys running different types of tires and testing different types of tires, especially in four-wheel drive. In two-wheel drive, most guys were running very similar tires.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have to pay attention to more carpet racing. That's all.
I haven't raced 10 scale in a while.
It'd be interesting when JQ gets his 10 scale comparison out too. So that'd be a good one. All right. Next question is from Lonnie Ard. He wants to know, what are some of the chassis tuning differences between e-buggy and nitro? Is the balance and weight similar? What are the pluses to each other than runtime on nitro and reliability on e-buggy? Well, I think e-buggies just tend to be heavier. So
slightly, but if you run shorties, it's pretty much the same weight.
I think generally they are such heavy. You have to go up a little higher in your shock oil.
Yeah. But I've seen people recently run their e-buggies the same way as nitro buggy.
I think the big thing is just in the power. It's just the power. You have so much power with e-buggy.
The power is definitely like number one biggest difference. Then secondary is the weight. If you have a lot of weight, it's heavier, obviously, but it's also very forwards. If you reduce weight, it's still more forwards than the nitro. So if you've seen like the Mayfield setup where he has the shorty and then he has the ESC behind it, and on the other side is the engine and servo and all that stuff. Like that setup, the weight bias is so much more forward than the nitro buggy is. And I think that's on top of the obvious power difference. That's the biggest difference in my opinion.
Yeah,
in drivability,
and that power just allows you to make mistakes and make up for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you can drive very point and shoot. You can go very fast in the corners, then stop, and then just accelerate out. You don't have to carry corner speed because every time you push throttle, you have so much power, and also because the car has drag brake. You can go way too fast into corners and the car will not be unsettled. So you can sort of overdrive the whole time and still look fine. With nitro, you can't do it. So it's much easier to be fast with an e-buggy than it is with a nitro. And in terms of rest of sort of like tunability or like how much you have to maintain or anything like that, I don't think there's any major difference apart from any major deficit to e-buggy, because like
practice with nitro, you learn corner speed. That's all I gotta say about that. Like if you want to be fast, you need to drive nitro for sure, because e-buggy you got a full sense of speed. It's like truggy.
Yeah,
And you get out there
exactly.
and it's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
so good in truggy, but I'm in the A-man in truggy, but
Yeah.
I'm in the D in nitro buggy. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah,
drive your nitro buggy
there's a
more.
lot of guys like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was coming into was that e-buggy, it's you just put in new batteries and you drive. Like the ESCs are quite fragile, but apart from that, e-buggies don't take a lot of maintaining. So if you're just a hobbyist, it's a very good starting point for sure.
Yeah. My buddy Chris Tradu, he wants to know, why is it so hard for people to marshal after a race? Other than physical and perhaps health limitations, there's no reason why people can't marshal adequately. How come at some races we see pros give lackluster performances when they marshal, yet scream the loudest when they get mismarshaled? Well, I would tell you that I think the first thing is that, and I don't really see this happen in European races, and so this is what I'm going to say.
I'm glad you say it
Because
first,
then,
I didn't
because
wanna
then
be
if
the one
Max
to
says
say
it, he's going to be like, he's anti-American. I only see this issue at American races, and it depends on the RD.
But you know what? I think it's a very simple solution. Some might say it's culture and something like that. Like it's like American races are more loose anyway, so like there isn't that much sort of separation. But I think there's a very simple solution to this that I think European races do that sort of fixes this, which is you have a cone and the cone is numbered, and every time the race starts, the RD looks at the cones and he sees, okay, cone 1 is empty, car number 1 DQ.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, it's simple.
Like,
or a lap.
we know,
or duck
like
a lap.
every
Take a lap.
yeah,
You don't have to
anything, but
DQ them.
yeah.
Take a lap.
No, DQ that round.
Oh yeah. Simple. Even at club races, when I went to club races in UK, that set up in 30 minutes, and you came off. Look, you came off that track. You came off. You went up one way on the rostrum. Like I made the mistake of going up the wrong way, and guys tell me real quick, no, that's for going down. You go up this side, you go down this side.
Yeah.
And you, as soon as you come down from that rostrum, on the other side, you put your car on the ground and you go to your marshal spot, because that's how the race has to be run. And it's just so simple. Lance has been doing a better job, and as he comes, he says, why do pros? Because I think he's seen a couple of pro guys give lackluster marshal. Why does anybody give lackluster marshal? Unless obviously it's like a million cars coming at you and you can't get over there. That's understandable. But I've seen pros like Lutz and Tebow, and I've seen plenty of these guys hustle. Mind you, they have to do this at every race they go to, so maybe it gets a little tiresome as well. But I think we should it's not just the pros, I think everybody should marshal to their best ability. Obviously, you're going to be a lot faster than me, marshalling Max, because you're smaller and younger. But the thing is, for me, is just getting people out there to marshal. It's becoming so difficult. Duck a lap, like simple. Like I get so aggravated when I hear like Jimmy Babcock or even Lance sometimes calling for marshals. I'm like, duck these people their laps. Like duck, you know what?
Yeah.
Duck the first pro that doesn't show up on time. And if you did that, and then everything would stop. Oh, he ducked Ryan Mayfield a lap. That means I can get it too. That start at the top.
Yeah.
Start at the top. Start at the top.
But to make that work, what you have to do is you have to number the cones, and you have to make sure that every driver knows their number in the heat, and they go to marshal to their numbered cone. So if they see number 1 cone is empty, they know exactly which driver it is. They don't have to look further or find it.
Exactly.
And even better, I think high-vis vests is also a thing Americans should just take into
I
the
100% agree with that.
Number one, like some like P&B, no way you see a marshal in the back sections.
Yeah.
So much dust and smoke, and it's dark dirt, and people are wearing dark clothes. Yeah. It's impossible to see
even
a marshal
just in the front of you. Like
track.
You see those dark clothes that you need to see like that bright orange or bright yellow. Like it's so I'm surprised more people don't get hurt.
Like, but even if you didn't care about someone getting hit in the head with an RC car, on top of this, it just makes it a lot easier for the RD, and it makes it just more simple. You put the vest in, and you're in your marshal spot, and the guy looks, hey, there's 9 guys there with the vest on. Everyone's marshalling. Let's go to the next race.
There we go.
It's a very simple thing, that if you just did it, it would work. You know, it's a non-issue. It's a self-inflicted issue.
Yeah, I agree with you. Austin Schaefer. Max, how many different brands have you tried? Which one has been your favorite? Notice you're unassociated, and I'm currently looking at your setup sheets.
Like tried where I've actually run the car for a long period of time. Only JQ and AE. Well, X-Ray at the very early part when I started running 8 scale. But in terms of tried on track, had more than just one tank with the car. I've tried pretty much every car, I'd say. Like S-Works, I tried S-Works for a bit, like the older ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my friends had it and we set it up. I even drove a Tekno like one of my buddies had a Tekno. We wanted to set it up and I drove it for a few batteries and we set it up and it worked pretty good. So I tried pretty much all the cars and I kind of know how they drive. Obviously, I've not tried the newest model of each. Like it's been here and there where I've tried them. Like to me, there really isn't a favorite car. Like I gotta be honest, like every time I drive a Mugen or a Kyosho, it feels very good. But I'm like, oh, that felt really good. And then I look at the times, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's not that fast. Compared to like my own car, like especially associated with JQ, I always felt that when I tried a Kyosho or a Mugen, it felt really good. I felt I was going fast, but the lap times are slower. With AE, I tried to set my car up that way. I tried that with JQ as well. And for some reason, from the way I drive or the way I approach sort of driving, it just doesn't work for me that well. And I bet, I've tried Kyoshos and Mugens, which were hard to drive and fast. So it's just that a lot of people set it up a certain way. And for sure, Associated is more aggressive car than Mugen or Kyosho. Same thing with JQ. HP is sort of a middle ground between sort of the Black Edition and Kyosho. It's sort of in the middle. It has some benefits at some points. It has some deficits in some points. But yeah, there are differences in the 8-scale buggies, but just looking at the geometries, you can kind of see why certain buggies work a certain way. And like at this point where I've like done this for over 10 years and like I tested so much stuff and found out why things work a certain way. Yeah.
All right. And Pete, you may be young, but you've been racing and you've traveled quite a lot, done a lot of big races. You're very super smart, super arrogant, but super smart. Yeah. Benjamin James.
You remember what I said in one podcast?
Yeah.
It's hard not to be arrogant when you're always right.
I know. It's not arrogant. I'm just always right.
Yeah,
that's just the epitome of arrogance. Benjamin James is actually at the Cleveland race. He goes, looks like Runafalk is a big free agent in silly season. Where do you think he will sign? He's still will he still be a favorite for the 8-scale worlds at Redavon next year? I have no idea where the Viking is signing. We talked about this earlier. It could be anywhere.
Still be the favorite. Ongara is the favorite. That's always been. I told like every time
a favorite, not the favorite, a favorite.
Oh, he said A. Okay,
yes.
Okay, then I retract.
I think the Viking is a favorite any race that he goes to, and I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, for sure. Like a favorite, yeah. But if Ongaro shows up, he's not the favorite.
I think he's gonna beat Ongaro next year.
And the only reason I'm saying this because I've heard that Runafalk does not like me saying this.
He doesn't. He doesn't. Don't listen to him, Viking. Don't listen to him. But I think his feelings do not reflect my feelings at all.
I think he needs this to get fired up, and then he can win. Because an Italian can't beat a Scandinavian all the time. We must win at some point, even though I'm not Scandinavian.
Well, I mean, let's look back at Redavon.
I still have some solidarity.
At Redavon, he almost won this race who was it? Who went out first? Was it Badier or was it him?
Batier won that year. It was Neo.
No. At the Euros.
Oh, actually, yeah 2016. Yeah. Runafalk led. Batier was second. And Boots was third. And then on the same lap, highest said, "I'm out," and blew both of their guys' servos, and then Boots won.
I think that the Viking is more focused and battle ready than ever before, and I think he is going to just demolish and pillage in the new year.
Yeah, I'm just getting fired up. Boy, so. I think he needs a little bit of kick in the ass, so I'm giving him that right now.
You're right. That's working. That's really working. We need to get you both on together. That'd be funny. You guys can F each other off in Swedish. Nathan Genda, we kind of went.
Swedish isn't that good.
We kind of went on a rant about tires earlier on the first question, but his question was: with all the clay tracks going to high traction with blue groove style, what would it take to make it simpler? In words of the tire game, simple, control tire.
Mm-hmm.
For
that's
races.
Number one. Control tire and one additive allowed or something like that. That's because then you can't blame anyone for using additives, because that's always a fucking ridiculous issue.
Just let them use it.
And yeah,
just let them use it.
I like using additives. I think it's first of all not very healthy.
What are you fiddling with?
Oh, my Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, that's making too much noise.
Yeah. I hate additives because the smell, it's most likely not very healthy, and it's just a mess. Everything is oily and gross and stuff. Like dust is fine, but this oily black mess I fucking hate. But to avoid all the dumb accusations, like allow one type of additive and control tire.
Yeah,
I think that's the easiest way to do it. Realistically, I would want American sort of indoor racing to wake up a bit. Like what are these guys doing? Like, why do the tracks have to be this way? Like, is it that hard to maintain something like OCRC? Because the grip level at OCRC is great. I love it.
I don't know, dude. It's more about ease, having that in a building, I think. You know what I mean? That's the hard part.
Yeah, but is it that hard to keep it sort of the moisture and all that?
Well, they have
working,
because they have like misters and all that type of stuff. Like, you know, I bet you that dirt at OCRC doesn't go dry until they make a track. You know, until they do a track design. I don't know, dude. Control tire.
Hard to know. But control tire is a very easy solution for that.
We ranted about that for 15 minutes earlier. My Max did. Instagram questions. KB Wolf 83. Haven't heard from him for a while. He goes, "What's up, my dudes? Pancakes or waffles? Waffles all the time, every time."
Yeah, waffles.
Or you can make like a waffle pancake sandwich. You have waffle on the bottom, pancake in the middle, waffle
illegal.
on top with bacon and eggs on top, and just put syrup.
One of my favorite things is like waffle, then bacon and eggs, and then another waffle.
That's what
like
I miss about America.
Waffle sandwich.
Yeah, I miss.
Yeah.
Making my own waffles at hotels. Well, and we had a good hotel.
For some reason, Americans and UK people are the best at making breakfast. I don't know what it is.
UK breakfast is good too. Breakfast. Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
very good. He wants
the rest of the food is, but yeah, breakfast.
You mean
good.
it's not up to snuff of reindeer balls?
No. Only good food in America is Mexican.
Or whale blubber. You know, it's not on, I'm sorry, you know.
And my American hater again. I mean, can you even argue against that Mexican food is the
actually it's actually Tex-Mex food that you eat. So
okay, yeah.
So it's actually American influenced Mexican food.
I kind of dig like the actual Mexican food more.
Yeah, like street tacos. Not like tacos that you and Giannis ate at that place in Santa Barbara, and both of you guys went pink when you had the green sauce.
I wasn't that bad, but he took the wrong one. I told him like take the mild one, and he took the hot one.
Quick story, because we got to talk about this. So we went to this authentic Mexican rest. They didn't even speak English, so I had to do it for him. And we ordered street tacos. And Giannis, some kid from Finland who's never had anything hot in his life, decided to get the green sauce at this restaurant, like an authentic,
I don't know, but I think I told him don't take the green one, and he just took the green one.
He went.
Anyway.
He had some of that, and he instantly went red as a beet, and he was just uncomfortable, and I could see it all in his eyes. Poor Giannis. So KB wants to know.
I kind of dig hot food, so I do too.
I really love those tacos, and they were cheap. Yeah. They were really good. You know that was an authentic Mexican restaurant because they had everything laid out for you to get it. Like, oh, your cilantro, oh, it's just all over the place. Just make your own tacos and you're good.
That's I dig that. That's one of my favorite type of foods when I go to America.
So he says, long time, no question.
Panda Express.
Yeah, I like Panda Express too. Long time, no question, but I was wondering, what are the settings you adjust most on your radio? Thanks a lot.
Nothing really, let's be honest. I try a lot of stuff. I find something that works. If something comes up to my mind, which I want to try something else, then I try that. If I find it works, I use it.
I don't mess around with my radio too much.
I gotta check, but no, I haven't made a video about this. Maybe I need to make a video about this, but I use quite a lot of settings on my radio. But the way I did it, I programmed 5 different types of brake sort of curves and brake speeds, whatever. Went to the track, and you can switch it from the race mode in Sandva. So try different ones, like used one tank for each. Try different ones, found which felt the best, then stuck to that one. Then set up 5 different types of steering things, steering sort of speeds and whatever. Try which works the best. To me, I don't like anything on that steering. No expo, no speed, no nothing. Just regular.
Like regular 100?
Steering. But, yeah, everything 100. But what I do like is having as short as possible steering servo arm. So the expo is sort of mechanical. It's mechanically slow. So that's something I do like. On throttle, I did that as well. I didn't like expo. I use only like speed. So it's very slow and throughout the throttle range. And then after I done that testing, all of that, I did a few different models, one for regular, which I normally use, one for if my car is super aggressive or the engine is lean, so I can just click up and I get a smoother throttle feel. And I can't remember if I have, no, it only switches the throttle around. So you have smoother throttle feel. So you have just one click, you have the option to go to a smoother sort of throttle feel. So that's pretty much what I use. I do not play around with it a lot. Before, like every time I build my car, I set up the EPAs. I check them like during a race a few times here and there, like after qualifying or whatever, so that they have stayed in place. And that's all I really do. I don't really fiddle around at each race. I don't think that's good, because you want to keep the feel to your car the same. What you want to change is match your car to the track you're in. I think that's the correct philosophy of sort of doing at the race. If you like fiddle around with your radio too much, you just lose the feel to the car. I think that's what I feel. But for someone else, you might want to tune your expo a lot or something like this. I know people who do it.
I mess with my throttle expo. I like it to be a little hesitation before I do that. Next question, Instagram question. Great question, KB. Great. Thanks for signing in, and definitely waffles all the time. Number one trader, when is the new Mugen buggy or truggy coming out? 2 weeks. I don't know. It should become.
2 weeks?
No, I'm not saying
is
that.
This a joke or?
No, I'm saying it's 2 weeks. I'm assuming that we should see something on the buggy will be first. The nitro buggy will be first. I think the truggy will be the last to come out, to be honest.
Yeah,
and
probably nitro buggy, then e-buggy, and truggy. Yeah,
if they ain't gonna drop that nitro buggy, probably by this month or the first quarter of next year, I would assume. If not, it's probably not gonna be until later on. So we shall see. I don't know, man. I'm not in the click like that with Mugen, so I'm not even been able to go to races and stuff. All right,
the Mugen is the mafia.
Yeah, I used to be a part of it. Not anymore. Not anymore. So this is from my buddy Axel Owen. He is all about e-buggy and e-truggy. He does run nitro, but he wants equality for e-buggy and nitro people. So he goes, so I went to Channel Islands on Saturday for their monthly club race. I'm sure I've brought this up before. The announcer kept saying everyone gets the same runtime, even though clearly not. when it comes to electric versus nitro. I raced for 10 minutes, then got a Marshall, a 25-minute nitro main. Why do electric classes get charged the same at club races as well as big events, when clearly there is 1/2 or 1/3 or even 1/6 the runtime in the mains? How and when will the e-buggy, truggy, buggy specialists like Joseph demand double mains? I'm going to email Joey at the dirt. If he's not doing double e-buggy, truggy mains, I will be asking for a refund, and you should too. Nitro is the glory. Now, all right, so
I agree with this guy.
I actually do agree with him.
If you run e-buggy and you get 10-minute mains and all the nitro mains are 20 minutes like they were at AMS, I do agree with you. You should get.
But they were 30 minutes at AMS. Main. But I don't even like that.
20 to 30 is different than like 10 to 20, because in the end, like if you run sportsman A main, you get more track time. So it's not like you need to exact same, but at least that you try to make it as equal as possible, because you can't make it always exactly the equal length. But one thing about Joey is Joey still runs 7-minute mains as the lower mains in nitro, so it's not like he cares a lot about your.
Well, and not only that, but remember,
even though you're working for the right things,
but it's on a separate day.
Mains.
He could at least have double A mains for the A finals. You know what I mean? I always thought that one single A main in electric was just not fun.
You know what? I don't mind it. I don't mind single A mains for e-buggy.
I'm definitely against that. I don't know what to say. Like, well, at the DNC, you would have to marshal a 25-minute nitro main if you're an e-buggy guy, because e-buggy and e-truggy are on different days.
I mean, I get his point though.
But I get his point.
Like let's imagine PMB where you are running 10-minute e-buggy and then.
But these big entry races though, you can't have double mains, and that's why you have 7-minute mains and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, but AMS had that. It's not
right, but
the way they run it.
Yeah, you have to cap the interest and charge one. Yeah. So I don't know. See what
I guess his question was more towards club races, and I do agree. Like in Finland, what we do is we have qualifiers, then we have bump ups. So you have your regular quarterfinal, semifinal main, but you also have, for all of those guys who didn't bump up, you have a C main, B main, and then after all of that, you run the A main. So what this is like, what it used to be usually is like everyone who made the semi and then made the main had their 20-minute main, and then they had their 45-minute A main. Now you have like all the guys who make the quarters of the semis, you have 20-minute the bump up main, and then you have the C or B main, which are, it used to be 30 minutes, but it's now been 20 for this year, I think. And also what we have is triple A mains for all electric drivers, so they get at least 30 minutes of runtime for mains, which is, it's not that much as the nitro guys get, but it's still a good amount of runtime. I think, it's like, it's hard to say, but like, because it saves a lot of time when you can run one long main. Because every time you switch a race, every time you need to do a new
5 minutes in between that, 7 minutes.
It's 5 to 7 minutes each time.
So you know what? If you want equal e-buggy time, Axel, go to AMS next year. It's not going to happen at DNC. But he has a point.
Yeah, DNC,
he has a point.
No hope.
He has a point.
I do agree with it. E-buggy needs to have, if nitro buggy has 20-minute bump ups, e-buggy needs to have two runs.
Or like, come on e-buggy, let's come on battery guys. Let's make this technology where these cars can run properly on 20 minutes.
Oh, you can easily run 15.
Maybe it's time to bump it up to tight. Maybe it's time to bump it up to 15 then. You know?
Yeah, I think like shorties are obviously a bit tight on 15, but like a large pack, you can do 15 easily. No issues even. So I do think, and like even shorties, you just bump down the power a bit, and you get 15. So yeah, I think
Or make some
15
quick
mini
release
mains
battery
would
packs.
be
You have to make a
that
pit.
too. But I mean, yeah, that too. But I would rather go to 15 mini main, see how that goes before we do that. And one thing I would like to see in e-buggy is bumps. Do these guys have that in America? They have it in America, okay. Because in Europe, in electric, there's no bumps.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
And I really hate that. Yeah, I really hate that.
But all right, Max. Oh, there you go. He's got a cough. He's really feeling sick. You have some of our Discord questions. And remember, guys, join our Discord. The link will be in this written description. Let's get up to 350 by the end of the year.
He was 300 when
I know.
he started.
You got to keep raising that level. Keep raising that level.
Okay. God, this is a complex one.
Well,
so
you're gonna have a time limit on this.
Okay.
2 minutes.
No, I need at least 5. But okay, listen to this. So, pivot ball front end with square pill inserts. The effects when you angle the front upper arm up and down at the tower versus at the rear holder. So, angling the upper arm like this or angling the upper arm like that. And also the effect when angling the front upper arm in and out at the tower versus at the rear holder. So if you're looking at the car from the top, the arms are straight instead of like going like this. So there are a few things. So if you angle the upper arm from the tower versus from the rear, the only difference realistically you make is the height of the thing. Like if you have the highest position in the front, you can raise it from the rear and make it higher and flatten the thing. But it doesn't really matter which way you angle it in the end. Like the angle is the determining factor, not where you made the angle. And you always measure sort of the height of the center of the part. So if you raise it from the rear versus you raise on the front, if you raise it from the front, you make the upper arm higher, but you increase the angle on it. And vice versa, if you raise it from the rear, you have it up, but you decrease the angle. So that's sort of the difference on it. Now, what does this do? Like having more angle or less angle? If you have more angle on it, you have active caster. You have more active caster. So when your car, the front end pushes down, your the pivot ball, like steering block. The steering block rotates backwards, which increases caster. So what this means is when you initially turn, the tires turn with a lower amount of caster. So you have less of this sort of sideways motion on the tires. The tires are more stood up. But when your front end pushes down, it introduces more caster to the car, which in that point will increase the sort of slantedness of the tires. So your tires will be more in an angle attacking the track. And in theory, this sort of setup should make the car really responsive initially because you have not that much caster. And then it would make the car turn a lot still in the corner because you have a lot of caster when the front end is pushed down and you have the tires in a slanted angle and the inside tire is grabbing the car and trying to rotate it around. So this way you have a very responsive front end steering, and in the corner you still have a lot of steering. Instead of normally when you reduce caster, you have very aggressive initial movements, but then in the corner your car starts to push a bit. It doesn't rotate as much. And then if you do the opposite, where you have less angle on the upper arm than you have on the lower arm, then you would have the opposite effect where you have more caster initially and less caster in the corner. So now you would have, in this scenario, the front end should be very dull. It shouldn't really work at all, let's be honest. Like in the corner, it would push and initially wouldn't really do anything. So this type of setup, I don't really understand why you would run it. Maybe JQ would know if there's a reason to run it like this, but I can't think of any. Now let's go to the angle from the top view of the car. So some people call this arm sweep. This sort of has a similar effect. But one thing this also does is when the car rolls into one corner. So let's imagine you go into a turn, you brake and you turn at the same time. The car doesn't roll straight down from the front. It rolls sort of down to the corner on the front, the outside corner. Now, imagine if your arm, but on the top view, your arms was like tilted to the forward of the car and the car would roll. That arm would be parallel to the roll motion. So this way you have less sort of resistance of that, the car is squatting to one corner. Now, if you imagine you would do the opposite, which is like this way you have arm sweep, now the car will want to roll this direction, but you have the arm in this direction. The arm can't go down like across this axis because it wants to roll this direction, but the arm rolls around that axis. So this way you can introduce some roll resistance in the car to the corner. The car will act very similarly like forwards, but it will introduce some roll resistance to that corner of the car. I have to personally admit I have very rarely ran this. I've talked to some people in the Kia show, I believe MP9, it was very common to use this sort of in the lower arm. But it works the same way in both lower and upper arms. It just resists roll. If you have a different amount of arm sweep in the upper arm and lower arm, it also affects the active caster on the car. So you have to keep this in mind because the arm is sort of behind, and if it moves up and down and there's angle, it makes it a little bit more complicated. So ideally, if you want to keep it so that you kind of understand what's going on, you should have the same angle on both lower and upper arms. This is something, just as the active caster part is, that is, you really need to have this on a computer. You really need to sort of know what's going on to make sense of any of this. And tuning this properly it's a pain in the ass. So realistically, what you want to do is try it out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Unless you want to actually put a lot of time into this. So yeah, it's a very sort of complex topic, and it affects how much the tires turn. It affects how much caster there is. It affects camber gain. It affects the roll resistance. It affects the roll center. There's so many sort of variables here that making any sense of the changes like this, it's hard. So you kind of want to do it that the upper and lower arm are level to each other, and you move them either up or down. And that way you can keep sort of your head in what's actually going on.
Yeah, you lost me in the first 30 seconds. So everything you just said kind of just went in this and right out the other.
That's the most science mode I've ever gone on the podcast.
That was like completely. And imagine
you need some visualizations to understand.
Exactly. That's what I need. I get it, but I don't. It does. Yeah, I'm not that deep. I'm not that deep, people. Not that deep.
But I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Not my question, but the person's question.
Yeah.
You should say their name on that as well.
Oh, so it was Bardi. I don't know who's Bardi.
Oh yeah, I know who he is. I know who he is. Australian guy.
I don't know.
All right. What's the next question?
Yeah. Next one is from Dylan.
Super science mode.
This is actually not that science mode. Do you think there will be a time when 8-scale buggies have two specs like in 10-scale? Well, we kind of have it with Chuggy and Buggy, but I think what it means is will we have two-wheel drive 8-scale, which I kind of rather have a two-wheel drive 8-scale buggy and 4-wheel drive 8-scale buggy than have truggy and buggy.
Well, they used to do 2-wheel drive 8-scale buggy, like in Europe, I believe. Back.
Yeah, I think there is some, but I like to see that. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. Back when you was just a thought in Henry's brain, they used to, have 2-wheel drive buggy, and when Rex didn't exist, you didn't. Well, he still doesn't exist because I haven't seen any pictures of this imaginary brother that you have named
I don't think
Rex.
there's any pictures of him.
So
He's a ghost.
I think it would be cool. I wonder how difficult would it be? Could you have a front? Yeah, it'd probably be hard. It'd be good for people to learn, though.
I do believe it would actually work. I do see it working. Okay. So next one, Maximus. I don't know who this is.
I don't know who that is either.
The actual name. But yeah, Maximus asks, once someone has enjoyed short course, how do we convince them stadium track instead of short course? If someone enjoys short course, I don't know if you can convince them of anything.
No, because it's I think stadium track's dying like worse than short course. Yeah. You know what I mean? And short course is just fun.
Jokes aside, I think stadium track, what you call that? The Ignite car.
Yes, the gas truck.
Nitro gas
That's
truck.
Fun.
Short course. I would hope truggy, and some of these sort of smaller classes, I would hope these would sort of die out in the professional level.
Truggy isn't a small class, Max.
It isn't, but I wish it was. So I wish these classes would sort of die out in the professional level and remain as sort of local club racing classes where people can have fun, drive different type of cars, all that type of stuff. Because I think it really reduces the value of the pro drivers in terms of actual skill and driving and testing and all that type of stuff when they have to drive 3 or 4 cars when they go to an event. I'd be happy with, I can accept driving 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. I can accept driving e-buggy and nitro buggy. But like, I see some guys traveling to one of the big races with 4 different cars. Like,
let me tell you how much Max dislikes truggy. He at PNB he ran it and he went and got his entry back, and my engine
because
you lost your air filter
up.
and then
he's
like, I'm not running truggy, it's too much work, I'm not doing it sucks. And I'm like, you are gonna run truggy, and he just wouldn't listen to me. I almost had to. That started me almost wanted to kill Max.
I almost didn't run e-buggy because I had some electronics that JQ left me. The first ones blew out immediately in the pits. The second ones blew out at the track after 5 minutes. And then I ended up running Mike Hill's electronic.
Yeah, I remember.
It was a fucking disaster. Like the truggy, it was awful to drive. I remember it. And then after like a few minutes, I flamed out at the middle of the straight. I was like, what's going on? And then Mike went to look at it and he saw no air filter. And I was like, dang, it must have flew off. So, yeah.
Rookie
it was
mistakes.
a huge mess.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that too.
I think like, I think like, yeah, the thing is like in touring, there's GT classes. There's so many different classes these days. And everyone tries to make them sort of professional, and all the pros need to run it, and all these brands need to send people around the world to run these classes. And I think it just takes away from the rest of the professional sport. It just waters everything down. And like, let's be realistic. Stadium trucks aren't an IFMAR class. Neither is short course trucks. It's not a class exciting enough for pros to push it to the level where it is going to be. Something like e-buggy is big enough where it could be an IFMAR class for sure, and yet it still isn't. So I think like trying to push for more and more classes which don't gain traction or don't have any reason to gain traction, I just don't like. I don't think that's worth it, and I wish some of these manufacturers saw it as well. Obviously, the reason why they do this is because selling a buggy and a truggy makes more money.
And then, of course, the race promoters do it because the more entrants makes more money.
Exactly. But for the racer, is it more fun to own 4 different type of cars, have 2 different type of tires,
Some people like
maintain
that,
all these cars?
Some people like that, and they're used to
But
it.
would they like having 2 cars and putting all their money and effort and time into
You
that?
gotta get that idea through the brain first, because the industry has made it where you think you have to run 3 classes or more at each race. I can literally go to the magazine. I read it at Mike Hill's house, how to become a pro or how to get sponsored in car action back in the day. So you're kind of beating a dead horse there, Max. Truggy's not going nowhere.
But I think,
but stadium truck and short course are kind of dead. On a local level, I think, short course is great, I think.
The thing is, like, Truggy isn't dead, and it's probably not going to go anywhere. But I think Truggy is one of those classes that should be sort of what gas truck is, what short course is. Like, I love what Ignite is doing. I love that short course is staying around, but I don't want to see Dakota. I don't want to see Dakota Fenn run a short course. I don't care. I don't want to see him run a short course. I want to see him run 2-wheel drive buggy and 4-wheel drive buggy as well as he can. I want to see him run a nitro buggy and maybe an e-buggy as well as he can. I don't need to see him run an e-truggy or a short course or whatever, just because like a few guys like them. I do think they have value at the local level. I do think multiple different classes are fun, and I own a stadium truck from back in the day. I had one and I still have it, and sometimes I go out and have fun with it. But that's all I do with it. I don't competitively run a stadium truck. And I think these classes have more value in that sort of area, like the vintage class. I think it's really fun. It looks really cool, but I don't want to test and spend time like setting up that car. I want to just go out there, have fun, relax for a bit, enjoy sort of the enjoyment part of RC, not the competitive part of RC.
All right. How many more questions do you have from Discord?
Let's see.
Because we've been going for a long time with questions.
One more. Mm-hmm. If you're a stock class racer and looking to move into mod class, besides speed, what else should someone be prepared for when making the jump?
Spending less money.
Yeah.
Power. I think that's the big deal, is that the power delivery of mod is what gets people. Maybe you don't need to run a freaking 3-turn motor. You know what I mean? Maybe run mod with a slightly hotter motor in your stock car.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing in my opinion. It's like when people move from stock to mod, they immediately go for a 5.5 or something in their fucking tool drive. Like, come on, like have some brains here. You went from a 17.5 to the most amount of power you ever thought about. So I think it's just like understanding that if you can't handle the power, there's no benefit in it. Mm-hmm. I think I see a lot of people making this mistake even in e-buggy. Mm-hmm. Like they just have too much and they make mistakes because of that. Mm-hmm. And it's very simple. Like, understand where your limits are. Try to find where you can use the power and where you cannot. And then just learn, and then you can use more and more of it.
I agree. You know what? We had a lot of questions this week, but it's been a while since we had questions. So thank you to everybody that sent it to us. We should try, probably, if you guys join our Discord, we get into, Max and all the nerds, they get into these big discussions that go on for days about different things. And it's fun. So check that out, because you can get some more questions answered. And thank you to everybody that sent questions, and thank you to Beach RC and Brent and everybody that's been supporting the podcast all this time. Remember, everybody, we have the 12 days of Christmas coming up starting today when this podcast is out. And we also have an affiliate link that you can use that can help us out. Max, it's time to go on to the main interview with Burak. Then we're going to come back, and I have a small rant that I've been saving for quite some months now. And now is the time that I can talk about it. All right? So, I'll see you back for the rant.
Tekno RC. Tekno RC. Tekno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.teknorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Tekno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Tekno Takeover.
So a few weeks ago, I had one half, or the younger half, of this dynamic duo that we now know as the Kilic Brothers, or Kilics. I know I'm messing the Kilic Brothers. Berkan, who's 15 years old, and we had a great chat with him. And he talked very highly of his older brother, just slightly older brother at 17 years old, by the way, Burak. And I wanted to have him on not too long after we interviewed Berkan. So I want to thank him for coming on. It's like 9 o'clock over there in Germany. What's up, Burak? How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. How about you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm kind of chuffed and like excited that you guys sometimes listen to this podcast, especially when like me and JQ go at it. So we haven't had a good rant in a while. We're probably gonna have to do that.
Yeah, it's really nice. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for your time. So for those that don't know, this is Burak Kilic. He is the older brother of Berkan. They are what I now the dynamic duo, as I'm calling them, the Kilic Brothers. They are out of Germany, of Turkish descent. They're Turkish, but they live in Germany. And they have been, I've known about you guys for quite some time now. Maybe the rest of the world doesn't know who you guys are, but they are starting to know who you guys are because you guys are getting results, especially after your third place in the Euros in 2019. But
yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So let's go, man. Like, I have to know, how did this? I know your dad was into this, but what really got you into this? Was it just watching your dad, or tell me when it kind of was like, all right, I want to do this?
So when I was 5, my dad was taking me to some races. He was racing also before. And I always watching to the track side, watching the race. And then when I was 6, I started racing. My dad said, let's try. And then when I was 7, I did my first German Nationals final. So after this, I got for myself better and better. I like it a lot. And yeah, it was really good. So I just keep going and go better and better.
Yeah, so tell us about your first final. What, you guys ran Nitro first, right, as well?
Yes, Nitro, yes. I started with Nitro, yeah.
I can't remember what your first car was. I think Berkan told me, but what was it?
I think it was a Mugen MX-6, really.
Okay, that's the one Mugen.
Yeah.
I never had that car. It's the narrow pivot one. So
yeah.
Are you guys using the narrow pivot now on the on your cars?
No.
Okay, so yeah.
At the moment, no.
Excuse me. All right. So how'd you make out in your first national?
So the first national was really good. Well, was okay. So I think I finished on position 8. It was a really strong field, and yeah. So now he's getting like top 3 at this moment always, and yeah.
But
it's good.
German racing was really stacked back then. You had like Reckward, Jor Newman was really on fire as well. So.
And sometimes Martin Bayer was also there.
Who else was really fast that we might not know about?
My brother, of course, Aaron Rönig. Yeah, I think that's it. We are like 5 top guys, and the rest of the field is also really fast. And they're Jörn and Misha Wittmeier, of course.
Okay, so who was one of your heroes as a young driver? Who was the guy that you looked up to? Was he German or was he somewhere else?
Actually, it was German. It was Daniel Reckward.
Okay.
So he always performed well, and his personality is really good, and it's great to see him drive. And he's never driving. He's going to the German nationals and do always the final. So this is crazy.
Yeah.
And you see his fingers, and his throttle finger is amazing how it feels, and it's great.
Does he still race?
Sometimes.
Okay.
So he does never practice. He just race, but maybe like in 1 year, 2-3 races, because he have a lot of work. So.
Okay. So at 7 years old, you do your first nationals. Is that when it just starts going like to where you are now? And then your dad's like, all right, I'm going to stop racing. It's time to focus on you and Berkan. And what?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. When did you guys go on your first international race, like outside of Germany, like big race?
It was it was actually 2012 at the European Austria.
Okay. How'd you make out there?
Not really well. I finished in the one. I finished on the 1/8 final, and yeah, that's it. I just finished there. I was like, no, yeah, 8 or 9, no, 8.
You were still young. Wow, you were still very young. Did you?
Yeah.
So you was just like excited just to be there, I would assume.
Yeah, of course. I just need to make races to learn. My dad was always pushing me to do big races, to learn and growing better.
All right. And Berkan was also with you at this time, or did he come in a little later?
At this time, no.
Okay.
He wasn't. After 1 year, he was with us.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. That's good. That's good. So you went to there at 8 years old. When was your first real big breakthrough race where people took a lot of notice of you internationally wise?
It's difficult. It's really difficult to say because there was so many races with a young age. I think it was actually in Germany at the Euro A, where I finished in the quarterfinal with 12 years.
Okay.
So then after this, I got one bad Euro, 2015, and then 2016 we was in Spain. I finished in the semi-final, just one bump up from the A final. So I was 12 years old.
I think
so
that's when I kind of
14.
noticed you guys too. And I remember asking Joseph, like, who's these Kilic Brothers? And it's like, oh, they're fast, they're good, and whatnot. I was like, yeah. So that's really cool. So you finished in the semifinals in 2016, you said?
Yes, in Spain, Redovan.
Okay, yeah, that's a beautiful track. I love that.
Yeah. So big.
I know. I'm really excited to see.
Crazy.
I am excited to see what they change for the Worlds coming up next year.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we have a Worlds. It's just looking. I don't know. Let's not talk about it.
It's crazy at this moment.
I know. It's so. It's frustrating. It's super frustrating. All right, so now that you're 12 years old and you're racing, Berkan's racing with you guys. You're the older brother. He always says he looks up to you and that's good, and you push each other. But you, as the older brother, was you always just the fastest one because you had been doing it longer? And when did you start seeing Berkan getting up to speed?
So actually, we was starting with the Mugen, and then we changed to TLR. So I was always faster, and then we changed to after 4 years TLR, we changed to Agama. He was also not so fast, and then just after these 4 years, the first race with the Mugen in 2020 in Padova, I don't know what happened. He was just so freaky fast, so I didn't catch him up or something, and it was really crazy. And at this race, I just saw, wow, he has talent. He's super fast. He can do this. So
was that the first time you ever saw it, or had you seen like him do it, like some glimpses of that before?
Yeah, he was the first time in front of me.
Wow.
So it was really special moment for me, and also the first time we did together on the podium in Padova. So it was really great race.
Yeah, you guys just raced at Padova about a few weeks ago, last month sometime, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You won that, right?
Yes, we finished 1 and 2.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have plenty of those podiums in life. You guys are still young.
I hope.
Yeah, it's so hard. Like I talked to Berkan, I can't believe it's 15. A lot of people who can't believe it's 15. You can hear it a little bit when he talks sometimes, but it's very hard to believe it's 15, and it's hard to believe that you're 17. You guys just seem so much older than than you really are. All right, so you ran Agama. That's when I first met you guys. You did 4 years at Agama. I didn't realize you guys did so long there, and I was kind of shocked when you went to Mugen. You've gone to Mugen, and I think you guys have done really well since then. What has been the biggest difference going from the Agama to the Mugen for you?
So for us, we did a lot of testing with the Mugen and also with the Agama, and the difference was the Mugen, it accept a lot of more mistakes than with the Agama, and it's really easy to drive. I think all pivot ball cars are really easy to drive, and it have so much steering, and I just built the kit. I didn't make even a setup. I just can run my laps, and it was super freaky fast.
Yeah, you guys didn't even lose any type of momentum whatsoever. It's like Berkan got faster.
Optional parts. Yeah, we just built the kit original, and then we run. Original springs, original roll bars, everything. Just the MSC battery box. That's it.
Yeah, but you guys were like still on pace, like, and have gotten faster. Like there was no time where you was like, oh, you ain't too sure. It was
sometimes it's getting better and better.
Yeah, you are getting better and better, and that's good to see. So, a lot of people probably know you from 2019 when you came third at the Euros, which was probably one of the best European races I've ever seen. Probably one of the best races I've ever seen. It had a lot of drama, rain, whatnot.
A lot of drama.
I know. So, let's go through that race a little bit because you had rain. You got up into third. How did it work? It's been so long. Tell me what you remember about that race.
So I remember I just started in the I tell you from the qualifying, I think. So the qualifying we started, I broke all 5 qualifyings. Nothing worked.
Oh no.
So nearly I started like in the quarterfinal last, and then it started to rain, and then we just nearly bumped up from the 4th position. In the semi-final we finished 7, and then in the last chance final we did 50 minutes. Everyone did one fuel stop. I did 2. So and this run out, and we did the final. So the last chance win.
Right. Wow, you got a lot of track time too. I didn't realize that. Now I remember that.
And and in the quarter was rain, in the semi was dry, and last chance was dry. So in the final we started, and after like 20 minutes, it started to rain. And then my dad said, "You remember the quarterfinal like a practice?" I said, "Yes, Dad." And then we kept pushing. In the rain, we was much faster than in dry. So if it's like 10 minutes more race, I think we could win this.
Right. How did you adjust your driving for the because you was considerably much faster than everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How was you able to adjust your driving to the rain? What exactly was you doing?
So in one of the pit stops, I came in the pit. John Hazelwood told my dad to make the engine much leaner. We did leaner because everyone flames out because the car is so heavy. And then everything goes much better and better. And it was crazy. I was on mediums.
Yeah.
So it's like on ice. I just keep pushing my feeling, not so much gas. And yeah.
Like Ayrton Senna. He was a master in the rain. Yeah, man. If nobody has watched this race, go to RC Racing TV. Look up the 2019 Euros, the last Euros that we had, and it's one of the best races I've ever witnessed. Even Joseph was like, Burak came third. We couldn't believe it, and
it was crazy.
Yeah. So after that, tell me about that. What was the celebration like for you? Because that's like you could have. I think you could have won that. But third is still good. Like you would have been what?
Yeah.
Like 14 at that time, maybe 15.
Yeah, crazy. It was crazy. So we still can't believe this because it was like the last lap we was catching up to Rizzo Savoia, and then directly in front of me he was his fuel was empty, and then we catched him up, but we was nearly like 1 second behind him. So I think we could also catch him up without a fuel stop, and yeah.
Wow. So when you came off the driver's stand, was you, like your dad all excited? Where was Berkan and everybody?
Yeah, I was. They were crying. John Hazel was crying. Everyone.
Oh, that's a good moment.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was a crazy feeling.
Great moment. I was just stoked watching it. Like, you know what I mean? So I can imagine being there. And then Joseph was telling me about it because he was there. And yeah, man, congratulations. Unfortunately, we haven't had a Euro since then, but hopefully we get one this year. Next year, sorry. And so what kind of changed for you after that? You guys it was shocking when you did leave and go to Mugen. You guys are definitely getting a lot more recognition. I would consider you guys 2 of the fastest 8-scale racers in the world at this moment. I know the top 25 rankings doesn't show that, but we know how that works.
Yeah, I still can't understand this 25. So.
Yeah, because it's about races, and the races have to have a certain amount of people and all that type of stuff. So, but seriously, there's a Worlds coming up next year, and I don't see why both you and your brother can be in the final, definitely in the semifinals. You know what I mean? So what what has changed for you guys since that European win? And now, like, I mean, even the 2021, not too much racing. This year, you guys have had a pretty decent year. I think Berkan came. You guys beat the Viking in Denmark. You've been to Poland.
No, we didn't.
Oh, sorry.
We was in front of him. I catch him in the first lap. The problem was my receiver gets fired in the Nitro final. So in the last 10 minutes, which was the lead?
Okay, so I thought he was off the podium somewhere with you guys there. Was it not in Denmark?
I'm not sure.
Okay, see, I got that confused.
No.
But
all right, good.
Yeah, I always get things confused. Don't worry. Sorry, Viking. Didn't mean to insult you.
It's okay. We win already.
I'm really excited to see where he goes here soon. But yeah, definitely you guys had a very positive 2021, super fast. I think more people are knowing what you guys are doing in life. What are your goals as an RC driver? Because Berkan doesn't take it probably as serious as you, but he says you take it super serious. So
no, it's true what he says. So it's for me it's also how can I explain? It's really important to get good results, good races, be cool. Sometimes persons are not cool. We try always to keep calm, and for me it's important. But the most important is I have fun. If I don't have fun, I would not do this.
Okay, so you're more into the setup side of things, I think. I know your dad does a lot of stuff for you guys.
Yeah, 100% him.
Yeah, but you do some wrenching as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
More than Berkan, because he just sounds like he doesn't do any wrenching whatsoever.
Berkan doesn't do anything, nothing.
He just says...
Just clean the car and that's it.
Shows up and drives. Hey, that's how it works. Are you learning about setup and all that type of stuff? Is your dad teaching you? Can you relate to your dad what you need to change and all that type of stuff so it makes it easier for him?
The mostly is we drive and then we always explain him what doesn't work. So and then he tries to figure out, and that's the only way we do this.
Will you though? But at some point you're probably going to have to do this on your own. Will you learn to? I think it's good, and Berkan as well. You know what I mean? I know it's hard. You guys probably will never go to a race without each other anyway, because he already said that, which is great.
Yes,
because both of you have to go, which makes sense. I agree with you. Both of you into it. Both of you have potential to be professional drivers. You know what I mean? And get paid to do this, in my opinion. You got to do it, man. But are you learning from him that though? Are you learning a little bit more? Are you trusting yourself?
100%. We learn from my dad so much. This is crazy. So if he builds, I try always to watch, but it's always sometimes difficult to watch because I go work and so on. But he's doing a lot of work in our cars to go with us to races, and there are so many dads that doesn't do this. Mm-hmm. So I'm super happy that we have a dad that he does this for us.
Yeah, it's another father-son team and brother team is the Fullers over in America. Caden isn't racing as much anymore, but when I look at him, and when both of those guys are racing, and they're racing at a high level in America as well. And I was just thinking, like, you guys are the European version of it. Like, the same ages, too, I think. I think, like, Mason's, like, 17, and I think Caden might be, like, 14 or 15.
As the one guy stopped, or?
No, Fullers. They drive for TLR.
Okay.
He did the pass to Mayfield at the race.
I know. Yeah. I saw it. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. He's good. He's getting really good. And his brother's, he's about your age, 17, 16, 17, and his brother's probably 14, 15. So it's like you have the European version and the American version. But I think his brother's playing football now, not too much into RC. All right. So what about you? Are you in school?
No, I'm actually a car painter.
A carpenter?
I'm learning 3 years. Yeah, I'm painting big cars.
Oh, a car painter. I was about to say.
Painter, yeah.
I thought you said carpenter, like with wood. No. I was about to say your brother said you're a car painter.
Yeah, I'm painting big cars, learning this for the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. So in Germany, you need to learn 3 years of work to go to other works.
Oh, so it's like an apprenticeship.
Yes, right.
So how do you like that?
It's good. But it's like waking up on 6 a.m. and going home on 7 p.m. or 8. Or it's really, I still can't believe this. I do this. So it's hard.
It makes you want to be an RC driver, don't it?
Yeah, but I need to do this. In Germany, you need to do this, and it's really important, much important more than races. So after this, we can see. So after this, I can do whatever I want.
Now, do they allow you to go to races? Are they okay with your race schedule, or do you have to get permission?
Yes, it's actually my sponsor also.
Oh, look, see, there you go. You can't, but that's great.
Yeah.
That's probably the best of both worlds. Your sponsor, so you can get off time.
Yes.
You're learning a trade. Do you enjoy the trade though? Do you see yourself like being one of the best car painters in Germany at some point?
It's really. Oh, this company is really great and big, and this name of the company is Smartex, and I'm really thankful to be there, and it's really great.
Yeah, so he races RC as well. Then I take it.
Not really. The sons from the boss, they will start now. They have ready to run cars, and yes, they're trying to learn in the garden and. Yeah.
Well, they know you, like one of the best in Germany. So I'm sure they can help you out.
Yeah, they know. Yeah, of course. I hope.
All right. So how about at the race? Are you super serious? Are you, or do you like look at Berkan and he's probably kind of not as serious, and you're like, how can he be so calm or so normal?
I always on the track side. I have always fun. I'm always laughing, have fun. So if I go on the driver's stand, I'm focused.
Yeah. Do you do anything before you go on the driver's stand to focus yourself?
I drink water and that's it.
You're gonna need it because you're gonna drink none for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
So I drink water and that's it.
So your brother described racing RC cars as like eating his favorite food all the time. What is racing RC cars for you like?
Oh. It's like to have your girlfriend always by your side. So
that's a good one too. I don't know, but sometimes you need some space from your girlfriend too. So just saying.
But at this time, my RC can always be with me, so it's not a big problem.
So how about your friends and all that? There, how do you explain to people what you do in your spare time? Do they understand it?
Not really. So this is in Germany. Also, this is really difficult to explain. The thing, is just driving with toy cars, and I can also do this. I said, okay, you can do this. I bring some guys to my home to play VRC. No one did this perfect.
It's hard.
They didn't even make one lap. Yeah,
VRC is hard.
VRC is
very hard.
It's all too fast.
Yes, it takes some time to get used to it, but it is hard. How about I guess they just don't like it. Even in school, like, didn't people ask like why you're always away on weekends, why you can't do nothing on the weekends and stuff like that?
I told them I go racing with the RC cars, and they said okay, but they don't really understand what I'm doing. So my dad was coming to my school, and he had a class to teach RC. Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, they're building cars and so on. We bring a brand new kit there, and they build a car. So just learning one group shocks, one group differentials.
How many people showed up for the class?
20.
Really?
Yeah.
And does he still do it? Because I actually think I think all schools should do things like that.
They have run this, but they stopped now because of the coronavirus, and it's getting crazy here. Yeah,
it's getting crazy all over again. So, did anybody get into RC from building the cars, or anybody did you guys drive it? Did they get to race it afterwards?
Actually, my dad bring also a car, so my actually racing car. So they bring to the school and just driving on the market.
Okay.
Around on the track and
all right,
on the streets.
Okay, understandable. All right. So you're 17 years old. You're learning a trade. You desperately want to do that, but you do want to be a professional racer at some point. Correct?
Yes. 90%. Yes.
Yeah, I think you're like 90% there almost. You know what I mean?
I try. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely, like people, like I said, people getting to know you more. Are you doing the social media thing as well? Like Berkan's doing his Instagram and stuff. That's all important for you as well.
Yes, sometimes I post some on Facebook, Instagram, and I mostly post stories, and that's the thing.
Yeah, so follow Burak at his Instagram, everybody. What's your Instagram so everybody can follow you?
Burak Mugensaigi 27.
And yeah, Berkan is similar, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Follow the dynamic duo. All right, so your dad, does he, like, if you're going to go pro and all that type of stuff, what does your dad say about all of this?
He said, like, to me, I doing the 3 years painting big cars.
Okay.
He said, after this, we can do this. But if you don't finish, we can't not do this.
Well, that's good to have some rules.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, what if like the time comes where you have to kind of do this though? That's the thing.
I would not do this.
Okay, good choice.
At this 3 years, I would not do this.
I think that's actually really good because we see a lot of young kids, not just in RC, but in lots of different sports, that their parents take them out of school, homeschool them and all that type of stuff, and they get 100 dedicated to whatever they're doing in RC too, and then there's no real backup plan. So it's always good to see more young racers having that backup plan. Hey, I want to go to school. I want to get an education. Or even just working. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's very good. As a young driver, as a young racer, is there anything you would like to see change in our industry? Like, I'm always trying to, I want to say we want to make this cooler. I want to see more young racers like yourself involved in racing in this seriously. I know it's not easy, it's not cheap. I know all that type of stuff, but I think we're really missing out on getting a lot of younger racers into RC. Do you have any ideas or any opinions as a young racer how we can fix that?
So in Germany, I can always explain it from Germany because in Germany it's like just me and my brother, and because the young people doesn't come because the families, they always think about themselves and not about them kids. Mm-hmm. And it's so strange to explain because we was the only kids every time that growing and do everywhere the races. And we just had some, like in German nationals, we have like 10 kids, but they always do this just there. So they don't go like to Austria, to Italy. So they don't.
Do you think it's cost or just parents not helping them out?
I think it's just the parents.
And the association, because Berkan was saying, like, in France, the association really helps the young people out a lot as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So
this is really great. In Germany, they don't do this.
Yeah.
I can say this because they don't help really. And in other countries, they help really good. Actually, in French, it's the most.
There is quite a lot of young racers in France.
And Spain also.
And Italy. So
yeah.
There's 3 countries. Do they do that as well in Italy? Do they help? The associations help out as well?
No, I'm not sure. I don't want to say something wrong, but I think French is the most best.
Okay. So where's your favorite track in Germany?
Actually, it was Big Hamburg, but the track was it's now closed because of something from China. They want to do something on the track side, and so actually at this moment, I'm not sure. I don't know really. Is no.
Nothing.
I don't have a really. No, it is Bischofsheim, Rhein-Main. Yeah, I think it's the best track at the moment. Okay. My lowest track.
How about in Europe? What's the best track or race you've been to?
I think it was Redovan, Spain.
Yeah. I don't think anybody can argue with that.
Best track ever.
Yeah.
It was the best track. Your car was like a mini Z. It's crazy.
I know. I know we keep going back to it, but I just can't wait. All right, so I would love to see you guys come to America. Who are some of the drivers in America or tracks or races you would love to race in America? Let's say races. What race would you like to attend in America that you see and you're like, oh man, I want to go there?
DNC and Silver State.
Really? Yeah, those are the two.
It's hard to come because I'm actually working, so it's always to take free is difficult. But I hope after this 3 years, I want to come and to join.
Yeah, I would love to see you and your brother and your father come over to DNC and race, man. I would so like to see that.
I would love to.
What about the track? How do you think you'll make out on that type of track? It's pretty big too.
In Germany, we have a lot of track like this. It always broke, and it's crazy. So it's like we have to set up. So just send it. So
yeah, and then in those tracks too, they're not as like in the European tracks have a lot more corner speed and a lot more flowing to them.
Yes.
Well, not necessarily because I mean in Spain and they have big jumps, but a traditional European track. So that's more supercross type style. In America,
it's also a lot of broke. So
it gets rough. It gets rough out there, especially if it rains and stuff. Silver State's really the really rough one, but it's also a great race. But yeah, man, I would love to see you guys come over and race. Who are some of the American racers that you really want to race against, or that you guys follow?
I'm not sure. I think most of the guys I raced with them, but. I'm not really sure. I think with Ray Mayfield.
Yeah. Do you think you can beat Ryan Mayfield on a good day?
I'm not sure. He's super fast.
Yeah, he's super fast and experienced.
We can see on the day. If he have a good day, he's the fastest. So if I have a good day, I'm the fastest. So expanding on the track, so I'm not sure. But of course, he's world champion and he's super fast. Mm-hmm. And you can always look to him up and learn something from him. He's watching from his races. Also, he have a lot of bad luck with the 1.8 World Championships. I saw also because he can win like 2-3 times the World Championship. Mm-hmm. Always something happens. So it's crazy.
He was too punched all the time, too fast all the time. Yeah, he never wanted to back it down. How about in Europe? Who do you think when you look at European racers? Who are some of your biggest competition like over there?
I think Davide Ongaro is the most. I think it's the number one in Europe, and I think in the world. In the world, he's the number one.
Yeah. What is it about him that makes him so hard to beat when you're racing against him as a competitor? And he's young too. He's like 19 now, so he's only a few years older.
No, I think he's 20 already.
Okay. I didn't realize he's that much older than you guys.
He's 21.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 21. And he's such a nice guy. This is 100% true, and his driving style is crazy. So smooth and fast also, and he's always super fast.
Mm-hmm. He just seems to always be able to get it done at some point. You know what I mean? It's like even at didn't he just win? He won at IBC, correct? Did he win at IBC?
I wasn't there because I can't go because of
you guys couldn't go. Which race did you guys go in? Was he there at the next race that you guys went with Joseph?
Buckingham, yes. I was pitting him in the in the B final.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I told him if he doesn't bump up, I do not pit him in the 40 plus. So he didn't bump up, I didn't pit him.
Oh. Yeah, he so I mean, it's hard to argue that Ongaro isn't the number one driver anywhere. It's just amazing how he drives. How about you? How about your driving style compared to what do you think of your drivers? I've been watching you both. Berkan is definitely more, I think a little bit more. No, I actually think it's more punch than you. Like some of the passes that I saw him make, like he likes to take those jumps on the inside and all that stuff. You
mean the orange car or the blue one?
The orange one is Berkan.
Yeah, but everyone's told me I'm more aggressive, so it's true. I'm a really aggressive driver, but I try to keep calm and going a little bit smoother. But my brother is always like, I go 6 minutes, he goes 7:30 or something because I push a lot more.
Well, maybe it must be when you both get racing because I watched an e-buggy race where you guys are racing in Germany. I might have been in Germany or Poland. And man, it was you guys put on a show. Well, it was only you guys anyway. So you guys were both fighting each other, and he just maybe was racing against you. He says that you are one of his biggest, like, when he's out there, like, he thinks he's racing against you, and it just makes everything easier. Like,
yeah, he told me because we practice always together to push each other to the same level. So it's true, but I never think like this because Ongara's in front, you need to catch up. Go. So
yeah, do you guys kind of know? You guys are brothers. You're very close. Do you kind of know where each other are gonna be on the track, like to trust each other when you're racing against each other and stuff like that? Like,
yes.
If I go into this corner, like Berkan isn't gonna, I know what it's gonna do and all that type of stuff.
100%. So we never touched each other. Maybe one time, but not so hard. We see one guy is faster, just go. So
it's impressive.
Yeah.
I watched you guys e-buggy race, man. Super impressive the way you guys push each other.
Yeah, it was really, really good race. It was the German nationals.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool that he still looks up to his smaller, bigger brother because you're smaller than him, but you're older than him.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I would just love to see both of you guys turn pro and just kill it in RC for the next 15 years. It would be so great because we haven't really had brothers like that for a while.
Yeah, it's true. I think the last ones was the Igons.
Yeah.
I think
the Igons were both. Well, Yannick was better, but
Jerome was also.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
both
Jerome
good.
was. Yeah, but Jerome had a lot of bad luck, I think. But he was. It's like Jerome was me, Yannick was Berkan.
Yeah, well, Yannick also had bad luck too. You know, he should have won two worlds, and he didn't. So,
yes.
Unfortunate. That's another driver I'd like to get on her and interview and talk to him. He's probably got some cool stories. All right, so tell us what's next for Burak and Berkan. What are you guys next? Chilling out for the rest of the... Oh, touring car. You guys have been doing some touring car racing.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So my brother, we made a TOS race. So for the upcoming ETS next weekend. My brother finished third in the A final. I finished 10th. So yeah, it was okay. I need to learn a lot of more. I was running modified.
Oh, you was running
so
modified.
He was running. Yeah, he was on stock. So modified is like, all the cracks stay so super close and it's crazy.
Yeah, a lot more power.
Every lap the same. Huh?
A lot more power too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I never asked Berkan or anybody, because you guys are really good friends with Joseph. How did you meet Joseph?
Oh, this is.
Joseph don't have many friends, so you know what I mean. That's why I have to ask.
I think 2013 or 14. I think 2014 in Germany. I'm not really sure, but I think like over 8 years, and then some like 4 or 5 years, he's starting to came to our house. We going eat and so on. So, and it was like in the Neo Buggy 2018. Nemo Racing was sending us tires to the Neo race, and they didn't come. So all the race was sponsored by Joseph with tires.
Oh, really?
All the race, he gave all the tires. It was really, really nice.
Well,
so
he does some good things. Joseph deep down is really a good guy. He likes you guys too. He always seems to stop.
We like him
Germany.
also.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He stops in no, I definitely have to have this because Berkan's been sending me pictures. I have to go visit a Turkish restaurant when I go to America. I want some Turkish food. That food looks great. So what's your favorite?
You need to come to Germany and eat the best food, the Turkish food.
I'm sure that's going to happen one day. I would love to do that. What's your favorite Turkish meal?
It's kebab.
Yeah, like what he showed me in the picture. Roasted tomatoes and meat and a big pastry.
Beef, chicken, yes.
Oh, I'll mash that up. I'll eat that, all of that. I said I'll eat all of that.
It's really delicious.
Okay. All right, so I don't know, man. I really enjoyed. I'm looking forward to meeting you and your brother, man. I still can't believe you guys are still 15 and 17. What do you do in your spare time then? Any other hobbies?
Actually, I go just out with friends, with a girlfriend, and yeah.
All right.
So
cool. Well, you got the girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's why you want your RC car to be like your girlfriend. You want your girlfriend to buy you all the time.
Yes. Yeah, it will be great.
All right. What are you guys' plans for the rest of the year? Any racing besides touring car?
So, no. At the moment, no. This weekend we go practice for the upcoming ETS next weekend. And we try to test with Ronald Volker sometimes. And yeah.
You guys had the other dude from Singapore there as well. Because we were supposed to record this last week.
Yes, Nicholas Lee and Ethan
Yeah, that's cool.
from Singapore.
RC is so cool. Like, people just show up on your doorstep. Like, hey, I'm from Singapore.
Yeah, we told them after the TOS, come to our home. We go make a dinner together, and they stayed here for 1 week. And I said, come to our home. We will invite you for food. So it's crazy. You have guys from Singapore. You need to tell them, come with us to dinner. We will show you Turkish food. So
I know. That's when he showed me the picture. Oh man. Guys, hey, RC is awesome, man. RC is awesome. Like some guys from Singapore hanging out with a Turkish family in Germany.
Crazy.
I know. And then me talking to some idiot in Dominican Republic, like, you know what I mean? So RC is awesome. I love it. All right. So how about 2022? What is looking like for you guys? Are you guys going to be going to Montpellier?
Yes, we go at January. We go to Padova, the one race, one man.
Yes.
And yes, and then is Montpellier, and then starts beginning with the Euro Electric, I think.
Oh, okay. Really? Are they having the Euro Electric that early?
I think I'm not really sure. Maybe it was the Euro warm up.
Okay.
In April, something is starting there.
Okay. I was hoping you guys come to DNC in February, but it doesn't look like you guys are coming.
No.
Unfortunate.
I'm super sad for not coming there. I was trying everything, but it's really hard to come there because always I want to do not the Polish nationals. I want to do next year the Spanish nets.
Yeah. Ooh. That's not an easy nationals.
That's why I want to go there, and that's why I cannot do the DNC because I also need to take some days free from the work. So it's also my sponsor, but I also need to work. I have like 30 days.
Yeah.
And I need to look where I put the days, for the Worlds, for the Euros. And after these 3 years, I can do this.
I know. How many years are you in this? 1 year?
No, it was just 6 months.
Oh, you got 2.5 years to go.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right.
It's going fast.
Yeah, it will go fast, and you'll learn something after this. And work experience.
100%.
Hey, it's not, nothing like making your own money and having your own work experience as well. You never know when you might need this because RC is not secure. We all know that. So, good stuff. I'll be looking forward to watching you guys race and putting up some more results. I think you guys are going to have a great 2022. Sorry. I think the world definitely knows who the Kilic Brothers are. It's great that you do this with your father. He's super passionate about this, and I love the fact that it's like Serena Williams' dad. Like he made sure both his daughters played tennis. Like there was nobody left behind, and that's really needed as well. And I really hope to see you and Berkan racing for many years on a top level. I honestly do.
I hope also. Thank you very much.
I think you can do it. You guys just put your mind. You guys are 90% there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just tried to send it. So that's it.
Send it. All right, man. And I hope you get over to America, man. I really do. And before you go, I want you to tell the Americans how to properly say Mugen. Because I even said it wrong. It's not Mugen. It's Mugen.
Mugen. Not Mugen.
Yeah, I know. It's Mugen.
Mugen Psyche.
Is that exactly how you said Psyche or Psyche?
Yeah. Mugen Psyche.
Yeah. We've been saying it wrong for years. Mugen Psyche and all that type of stuff. That's what I said for years.
And in the UK they say Mugen Psyche.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yes, I don't know.
I think it's Mugen Psyche though. I think it is. I think that's how the Japanese
Mugen
say
Psyche, yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna be with Mugen for a while? It looks like.
Yes, we have now a contract again for the next 2 years. So it's
awesome.
We try to stay now. I hope forever there. So I don't see any options why I should leave one of the best companies. So
yeah, I mean, look at Robert. He's been there for a long time now, and
I think 12 years. Yeah. 11 years. 12. Mm-hmm. So he didn't make any something wrong. So
yeah, and it's been a good relationship, I would say. Been both rewarded.
Yes.
Burak, thank you for your time. Thank you, Berkan, for your time. I'm glad I got to know you guys.
Thank you also.
I can't wait to meet you guys in person. Your dad has done
Would be great.
Your dad has done a great job with you guys. Very, very
Thank you.
very good, decent young men. And I wish you guys all the best, man. Honestly, truly, I do.
Thank you very much, man.
Do you want to say thank you to anybody before we leave?
I thanks to my family, to everyone. Always also to you, Joseph, for this interview.
Thank you for your time.
And yes.
Awesome, dude. Well, you know
Thank
what,
you
man?
very much.
You enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll be in contact because I always talk to Berkan anyway. So just tell him what's up, and continue to do what you guys are doing, man. It's awesome, and I'm on you guys' corner.
I will. Thank you very much, man.
Cool.
We are now at that point of the show where you should fasten those seatbelts and put your big boy pants on. Whoa. Things are about to get serious. It's time for the JQ Racing Rant.
Well, it's been a while since we've had a JQ Racing Rant. Some good memories there. Really good memories. So this is the part of the podcast where you probably should, if you got little children, you got sensitive ears, maybe you should let them go somewhere, because I have a rant. It's been building up for a few months now, and now I can actually talk about it. It's nothing too long, but it's about customer service. And I have worked as customer service for JQ, and we are not perfect, you know. I understand that things happen with companies and stuff like that. And especially when you're a small company, it's even harder. And especially now with COVID and everything, shipping is difficult. So what I have to talk about absolutely has nothing to do with COVID, has nothing to do with a small company. It actually happens to do, I'm dealing with two companies right now. So I'm going to tell the story of one company. One company, I had a product, I had an issue. It's never happened before, like something blew. But when it blew, it caused so much damage that we'd never seen it before. The company is like, hey, we're sorry. We're going to send you another one as soon as we have one in stock. You know, I'm fine with that. That's how you deal with things. You know what I mean? So I'm just waiting for them to get that thing in stock, and then I'll have it back. And that'll be Operation 115 right there. So that's cool. I'm happy with that. I understand right now that getting stuff from Asia to America is very difficult. I'm cool with that, like in bulk on ships and all that stuff. I'm cool. Great customer service. Said he'll take care of me. Just have to wait till it gets in stock. Good. Small business. Took care of me. I'm happy about that. Exactly what I would have done for somebody as a small business. I've spent 3 hours on hold to USPS for people trying to track their packages that didn't arrive the same day that it was supposed to arrive. You know what I mean? I've done this on my own at home. Was we perfect? Oh, look, Max's cameras died out. Were we perfect?
When the camera dies, it tells us that we've been
going for a while. So just to say all of that, like, I understand it. We're not perfect. Not everybody's perfect. Shit happens. I get it. None of that applies to this case, this second case. So I'm calling names in this one. Fucking HobbyKing. Probably one of the biggest, like, peddlers of RC stuff in the world. You know, they have warehouses in America. They have warehouses in China. All that type of stuff. You know, I mean, they are really big in the flying side of things and all that type of stuff. But, you know, I've ordered from them before, like cheap lipos and stuff like that. I've done business with them before, never had any issues. So for my Mayako build and for Operation 115, I wanted a new radio. I heard really good things about the Fly Sky Noble MB4. $200. Why? With 2 receivers, you can't go wrong. So this would be just as good as any of these other high-end $700 radios out here. So from many people, I heard good things about it. So I couldn't find one in America. Or I probably weren't looking good enough. So I ordered one off HobbyKing back in August. No problem. Everything went through, put my address where I wanted it shipped, all that type of stuff. Boom. 2-3 days later, got a shipping notice. It's shipping out to my freight forwarder in Miami. Woo, that's fast. FedEx Ron gets to Miami. They tried to deliver it like 3 times. Says they can't deliver it. Can't find the address. I'm like, what? Because I got all this stuff delivered to I have 2 freight forwarders. I have one that I use that's close by me, and for big things like this, I use, or expensive things over $200. I use my buddy in Santo Domingo. And he's like, Keenan, we're all in the same area. Like all these freight forwarders are all in the same area. How is it they can't do it? They're like, I said, so I call up FedEx and I'm like, hey, what's the address for this? And they give me some random address. It's close. It's like going to another forwarder, but not to the actual forwarder that I wanted to go to. So like, yeah, the address is wrong. It's off by a number or two, or they're delivering it to somebody else. Dude, I could not get FedEx to change the address. They had the wrong address. So I call FedEx, wrong address. No, the sender has to change it. I'm like, wow, really? How do I get in contact with HobbyKing? I start with their customer service chat. So this one guy gets on. Oh, we'll take care of that right away. I'm like, oh, great. It's so simple as you just calling up FedEx and saying, hey, this is the exact address that this has to go to. There's no COVID regulations. There's nothing. This thing is in America. Like, come on. Dude, it sat there for 3 weeks in the FedEx warehouse. Literally a few blocks away from where it's supposed to be. I could not. Do you think that this company called this? Like, I got through to FedEx in 10 minutes and got information. This company did not look, dude. It sat there for 3 weeks and then it got sent back. Then it got disappeared in Tennessee somewhere. Somebody else got it, right? So we don't know where it's going. Dude, I've been dealing with this for now almost 3 months. I had to bloody well open up a PayPal claim dispute against them to get this $200 back. Dude, they were trying so hard to get me to drop the PayPal claim. I'm like, no, I'm not dropping it till I get a refund. Not dropping it. They're like, well, our refund takes a month. I'm like, dude, it's been 3 months we've been dealing with this. Like, I'm just saying, I would never do this to somebody. Like, I would never, ever do this to somebody as a customer service agent or as a company. Man. So they finally say, okay, your refund has been approved, right? And this is last week. And they're like, can you close the PayPal discount, the dispute? I'm like, I'm not closing shit until I see some money in my account. Well, we can't process it without doing it, blah, 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 blah. So, like, once you close that PayPal dispute, you can't do it again. So I said, all right. They said they're going to pay me. I closed it like Tuesday, right? So I'm like, hey, so where's my discount? Where's my refund? Oh, we're going to process it. So today I got an email and they say, oh, well, your refund has been processed. I'm like, well, where is it? Because it's not in my PayPal account and it's not back on my bank account. Oh, we gave you $204 store credit. Max, I nearly lost my shit at 5:30 a.m. this morning before I went on my walk. I was like, I don't want to buy anything from your company ever again. Ever. I don't want $200 credit. I want my money back in my account. They're like, oh, well, it's going to take 3 to 7 bit. I don't care how long it takes. Just send me the money back. I don't want anything to do with this company at all. And you know what? I don't think you guys should deal with them either. They're just a waste of time. But the final dagger was they put it as a credit. When they did that, dude, I thought that was like the biggest ballsy move ever. Like they do not want me to have that $200 back at all. Dude.
No, and like this idea of giving people credit on their account is just bullshit, because in the end, they are not losing any money in this. They are winning money.
Nothing.
They made a mistake and they say, hey, you just buy something else from us. Like, come on.
3 months, dude. 3 months I've been dealing with this. A transaction should not take this long to do. But I hope that this company dies a very slow death. I heard that they got really hit. Yeah, I did. I heard they got hit by a big lawsuit for sending like illegal frequencies in radios in America. Like they must have been on like 40. Yeah.
There's a lot of Asian brands who send chargers that are illegal in the European area. But the issue often is that the distributor gets the issue. So the distributor is sort of responsible.
Right, he gets screwed.
So that's sort of the issue. But there's a lot of sort of these no brand products that just get sent around and they don't have any quality control or these, like, there was a situation that one of the chargers that my local hobbies have sold and that charger caught fire and burnt down the house.
No, yeah, like that's crazy. So
and luckily they were fine, and the insurance covered it, and the charger was fine. Like it wasn't like their fault, but if it was one of these sort of no brand, well, let's be honest, Chinese chargers, like that's a much different topic, and I think like this is the thing that there are very responsible brands. Let's name a few, like HobbyWing. I'd say something like Orca. Maybe much more. I don't know how Asian they are, but they for sure have Asian base. There must be some other brands that produce electronics. Just to say,
this is no.
They are responsible Asian brands, but HobbyKing is one which is a sort of a hobby shop that sells a lot of no-brand stuff.
Right.
And what they do is exactly sell radios with illegal frequencies. And when they do this, it's their sort of business model isn't good products and customer service. It's cheap prices and massive quantities.
Right. So I get it that I'm just some guy who lost $200 to them, right?
Exactly.
I know they probably have thousands and thousands and thousands of orders, right? That's cool. But I actually went to FlySky, you know what I mean? And I told them and I showed them, like I screenshot all the conversations. It's just all the bullshit. Because I know what they're doing. They're just passing the buck, you know? Oh, yeah, this guy will forget about it or whatever. But when I hit that PayPal thing, that's when it hit him. I'm like, I ain't playing around with you guys. Like, I want my money back. Like, I want the principal back. I don't want nothing from you guys. It's nothing against Flies. I contacted FlySky USA. I showed them what I'm going through. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get one of your radios to promote it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to use this. I'm buying this because I want to try it. And I'm going to tell people if it works or not. Like, you know? And I'm having these issues with HobbyKing. I'm nobody, but it shouldn't matter who I am or who you are. You're a customer. You should be getting customer service from these people, especially from a big company like that. And then that final dagger was, oh, we're going to put it like, oh yeah, we sent you a refund or store credit. I'm like, the fuck you did? Like, send that money back in my PayPal account or my I don't want to spend a cent with your company. So, man, I just think like I'm telling people now, like, don't make the same mistake I made. Don't buy shit from HobbyKing. They'll fuck you over. That's what they did to me.
And I think like the biggest sort of thing about this is please buy stuff from responsible manufacturers.
Yeah. Buy stuff from people that are putting money back into the industry. That's what it's going to come down to.
Exactly. And it's like for Americans, for example, it a lot of times means buy sort of local brands. Like Proline was a great example of an American brand. They were American owned. They were sort of working as well, not a family, but they had a good environment. They had a good brand that they had created together. And there's a lot of American companies that you can support. Yeah, you might have to pay a little bit extra because they are American and they have American employees and all that, and they have to actually pay money to these guys. But it's ridiculous that like for a lot of people to buy stuff from like HobbyKing if they have an option to buy it locally and then complain why our hobby shops are dying or tracks are dying. And this applies to Europe and this applies to Australia as well. Like everyone should buy local products and support sort of what keeps their RC industry afloat. And yeah, like you can buy products from outside manufacturers, obviously, but I think it is our responsibility as well to look to manufacturers who actually care about us, the customers, and the RC hobbyists or people who are in the industry or in the sport to keep this alive, because it's sort of these like HobbyKing. I always felt like this company
they don't give
was
a fuck.
There to kill RC.
They don't give a fuck.
It's just to make easy money from very low level labor costs and shitty products that they sell through HobbyKing, kind of like Wish or whatever these sites
that's what
are.
somebody compared it. It's Wish. of RC.
It's exploiting people that work there, and it's exploiting the RC industry and us as hobbyists and people who actually put time and effort into it. And it's not just people like us who are enthusiastic about RC. It's also people who enjoy going to the local track.
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone who is into it. It's everyone who has anything to do with RC. And I think that's the sort of the thing that people should take from this story you had.
And you know what? It shouldn't take 3 months to settle something like this. It should not take 3 months. It should not.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck HobbyKing. That's all I gotta say about it.
If it was an American company, it would not take 3 months.
No, it wouldn't.
It would take a lot less, and they would probably even apologize to you sincerely, not like these guys.
Oh man, it was so frustrating. It wasn't really about the money. It was just the point. You know, I've sat on the phone for 3 hours.
That's how you should do it.
You know, and fuck HobbyKing. Nobody buy nothing from HobbyKing. Fuck them. That's what I say. Yeah. And that's my rant for today. Fuck HobbyKing. And if I hope they can, you know, I probably got a letter. Sue me. Come sue me. I have nothing. You can take half of nothing. So aggravated. So aggravated. So aggravated.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. I wanna point out also like we give a lot of shit to Horizon, but so far they have shown that they are at least somewhat responsible. Mm-hmm. Their customer service isn't the best. But
it's pretty good. Like they'll send you a free
responsible company.
They'll send you a replacement.
Like they try and they sort of live by at least some idea of understanding between everyone. And they're like the thing like defamations they send to Joseph and all this, that's bullshit. That's like not acceptable at all. But I think support your local hobby shop. Support people who.
I wish I would have bought this from the local shop in California. Like the guy. So this is no reflection on Fly Sky. I still want to try out their radio. Yeah. They have the new one out, so maybe it wasn't a good one. Good that I didn't get this one. Maybe I'll get one to try it out and see if it really works, because I want to try it in racing conditions. I don't know, man. That's it for me. Fuck HobbyKing. That's all I got to say about that. And don't buy nothing from them. Fuck them. I have to say, you know what, Max? Thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate you coming on. Thank you to Burak and the Kilic Brothers. Definitely a bright future. I still can't believe that they're 15 and 7. They look like men. You know what I mean? They sound like men, too.
Yeah.
But Burak looks just like his dad too, by the way. But great young men. I guess they're kids, but I gotta call them young men. But really nice, and they have a really bright future. I think we're gonna see them on many podiums in the future. Thank you to everybody that tuned in, that supports us. We greatly appreciate it. Shout out to the NNRC squad around the world. We can't do it without you guys. Remember our Christmas show on the 17th. The date, I will have a banner and a time. We got a lot of giveaways to give away to people. Don't forget the 12 days of Beach RC. And hey, man, we guys need to go to our sponsors, use our coupon codes and all that type of stuff. Or just say, hey, I heard about your company on the NNRC. It really helps us out as well. Remember, showing the sponsors some love, shows the podcast some love. Shout out to the patrons of the NNRC. We can't do it without you guys. If you wish to be a patron of the podcast, there's a link in the written description. And yeah, just shout out to the awesome sponsors, man. They are Mayako, TNR Fuels, Hitec RC, Beach RC, Tekno RC, Lugz Racing Tires, Sun City RC Raceway, JQ Scale Motorsports, Invisible Speed. Cop yourself an Invisible Speed online course. It's probably the best money you spent in a long time. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Donovan RC, Racecraft USA, House of RC, RCGP, JTP RC. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Yeah. Good podcast, Max. We went long this week. Operation NNRC 2.0 is in full effect. Max and I have been working hard at that to bring you guys something different next year. If you're a company and you think this is a place that you want to advertise in 2022, hit me up. We only got a few spots left. And we're looking for...
Do you think HobbyKing will be a sponsor next year?
I wouldn't accept them. I would be like, no.
That's good.
I would not.
We have very good sponsors, though. I think all the companies that sponsor the podcast are.
Fuck HobbyKing, by the way, just in case people didn't get that the first time. But not. I actually like the company Fly Sky. So, it's unfortunate that they're so connected to HobbyKing. So we shall see how that all comes. I just want my $200. Probably not going to get that back now. I'll be surprised if I get it back. But I don't have the $200 store credit. I checked that earlier.
I don't know if they listens to the podcast.
Well, you know what? I think everybody should tag HobbyKing in this podcast. Every person that listens to this,
okay,
share it and tag them.
When Keenan gets his $200 back, then you do it.
Yeah,
okay?
and put the timestamp in it, so they know.
Yeah.
All right. You know what, Max? We've been going on for a long time. Thank you for your time, dude.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Hashtag fuck HobbyKing.
See, there we go. Hashtag fuck HobbyKing. There we go. Don't get me wrong. I don't like to bash companies or anything, but this is a big, giant company that can't even get 3 months to get something so easily sorted out. So they deserve everything that they get. Everything. So with that said, I don't bash companies, but I am bashing HobbyKing because they fucked me, and I didn't like that. And that shouldn't happen to nobody. Nobody should be fucked. Everybody's money is valuable. So anyway, dude, I think that's it for us. Remember, Nitro's the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Max, you got anything to say before we go? You can't do your salute because your camera died.
Yeah, peace, love, and positivity.
There we go. That's a great message for 2022. Peace, love, and positivity. Lefty and Max are out.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support and love from you, the listeners. Without all of you, none of this is possible. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. If you wish to support the podcast further, you can at patreon.com/NNRC podcast. As a patron, you will receive early releases, special content, and patron-only giveaways. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.nnrcpodcast.com. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. If you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty out. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory.
That wasn't so bad.